What's up with Sean Baligian?
What up? This is Joyce Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. So somehow I got stuck with the Jim Caldwell fan club today. I cannot believe this is what loser town we are. Okay,
Hold on. What's today? We got to do it.
I don't know. It's Wednesday or something.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wacky Wednesday where people are saying dumb things over and over.
It's What Up Though Wednesday.
Holy mother of the Lord.
It's What Up Though Wednesday. And don't forget your daughter's watching, Sean.
I didn't swear.
I know.
I said mother of the Lord. I say good things. Do I have to put the chair up? Let me put the chair up. I'm going to put the chair up. There we go. Is that better?
So if you guys can
like
tell,
a school child.
If you guys can tell, today is going to be a nice, heated debate. A nice, but all fun.
Hi, Adam.
It's going to be all fun. It's going to be all fun. But it's some facts that we're going to have to get out there. Is Jim Caldwell the best coach in Lions history?
In Lions history? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Is he the best coach
in
of our
Super
generation?
Bowl era? Could you say Super
yeah.
Bowl era? I think you could say. You think you could make the argument for Super Bowl era?
Okay.
Even though Wayne Fontes won a playoff game, I think you have to say that Jim Caldwell's overall record, that glorious 9-7 mark, is better than Wayne Fontes being one game under 500. Even though Wayne had multiple, you have to remember Wayne had 91, 93, 94, 95. You have to give him credit for having those runs, but you could make the argument that Jim Caldwell in the Super Bowl era is the best Lions coach. You can make that argument.
Oh, what am I doing here? We
agree. I'm not going to argue against you guys.
Good.
All right.
I'm happy about this.
No, see, but that's never been the debate. What is the debate is
Was he good enough? Was he good enough?
These two literally made an altar for Jim Caldwell, and we're worshiping at it. And I'm tired of it. Like, if we want to move forward as a franchise, we have to stop glorifying 9-7.
No.
Here it comes. Service begins now. Reverend Joyce.
Thank you.
At the pulpit.
Thank you. Now we take a Lions organization that has been plagued with losing season after losing season after losing season, and we say we want to get to a playoff contender, a Super Bowl contender. That's what we want to get to. Caldwell came in and set the standard. We don't have losing seasons here. That was the standard. We don't have a losing season. You can't go from.
He did, but go on. He did, but go on.
He had one out of. How many losing seasons?
One out of four. One out of four.
One out of four. What was his average?
9-7. He was 9-7.
All right.
So we had a winning culture here with Caldwell.
That's his middle name.
We had a winning culture here with Caldwell.
James 9-7 Caldwell.
Is that a winning record? Is that a winning culture?
I don't think in my.
So
I
you
don't
want a
know,
winning
Joyce,
culture or a playoff culture?
Joyce, you tell me. You were in the room.
Yeah.
You were in the room. Okay, and I'm not being a smartass when I say this.
Yeah.
You were in the room. Did you guys feel like you had a chance to go to the playoffs and make noise and win playoff games?
When I played, for sure. We for
What
sure
happened?
Did. Huh?
What happened?
We didn't.
Whose fault is that?
The players' fault.
Is it the players' fault?
Yes,
is it because the coach maybe didn't get you in the direction?
No.
Thanks for joining us today on another edition of Jim Caldwell Wasn't Good Enough.
I want you guys to understand.
At this time.
Hold on. For what though? Wasn't good enough for what?
Hold on. Let me answer this question. I want you to understand that coaches aren't out there on the field.
You're right.
The players are on the field.
You're right.
Players make plays.
You're right.
Coaches put players in position to make plays. He put us in position to make plays, Sean. We didn't make all the plays.
Sometimes with 9 guys on the field, but that's a different story altogether.
And how many times did that happen?
Once.
The
same
out of
amount
4 years?
of times he went 11-5.
Right.
And also the same amount of losing record he had too.
Yes.
So like that's what I'm saying.
Hooray!
Like it's not good
We're
enough.
mediocre.
But Sean, you're over here pretending that we're the Packers.
No.
We're the Cowboys. We've
No.
had this great history.
No.
And that 9-7 isn't good enough
No.
for the Lions. 9-7
No.
right now is a great mark for the
9-7
Lions.
isn't
And that
good enough.
needs to be our
Hold up.
bottom floor.
Hold up. This is what
hearing this?
this is what Sean is saying, right? Sean is saying that that's not good enough. I
For
agree.
who?
Listen,
Anybody.
quit
comparing the Lions
Sean.
to the Lions. We're the worst franchise in the National Football League.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So why are we comparing to the
Exactly.
Lions?
Exactly.
Why are we comparing to the
Exactly.
Lions? You guys are comparing losers to
I'ma
losers.
tell you
it's
this.
nuts. It's certifiably put them in an institution
Steve,
nuts.
Do you think this is the worst Lion franchise? You think this is the worst football franchise?
It clearly
in the NFL?
is. It is. There's nothing
Sean,
I
you
can do
agree that
about
too,
it.
right?
I love the team, but yes, it
So what
breaks
have you
my
done
heart.
to help out this franchise?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I've done nothing.
What have I done?
Yeah.
I cheer. I cry. I go to the cider mill.
Hey, I grew up knowing this was a terrible franchise.
Right.
Actually, no, they wasn't terrible though. I grew up in the '90s, so they wasn't that bad. 2000 on up, they're a pretty bad team. So what I do, I say, you know what? Let me play. Let me see if I can make it to the Lions. Let me see if I can help them out. Clearly, that didn't work out. All right, clearly it didn't work because I got.
Thanks a lot, Joy.
Clearly it didn't work, but we brought some pride back here. We brought some
Yes,
pride back.
yes.
We had some good seasons,
Some exciting times.
We had some
No
exciting
jokes.
times. We had
Yep,
some
no
glory
jokes.
days. So when I sit here and say that when Caldwell came in, he set a standard. I'm not saying that should be our standard for him, but that should be nothing less than a winning season. At least he brought that winning culture, not the playoff culture, not a Super Bowl culture, but he brought a winning culture to the franchise.
Yeah,
and that's where we can start and we can build from there. He took a team that was projected to win with 5 games and took him what?
Pro
9 to
Football
7?
Focus had them winning 5 games in 2016 and 6 games in 2017. Caldwell outperformed both of those with mediocre rosters. And my point to Sean through all of this is, what? You could go back and check out the rosters. My point to Sean throughout all this, you'll admit that the Lions are the worst franchise in professional sports,
say it all
right?
the time.
You say it all the time.
It hurts me, but it's
so
true.
why reestablishing our culture for 4 years as a winning culture, 9-7, which isn't good enough for you, but now establishing that as our basement, and that is where we go from
The foundation.
here. Now, the foundation. Now we don't have that 9-7 fall back on. Oh, we're awful. We're 9-7. Now it's, oh, we're awful. We're 2-14. We're 3-13 again. We got to climb back up that ladder to get to Jim Caldwell again. When you're saying it's not good enough, what franchise have you been watching your entire life? That 9-7, I would take that every year right now.
Why are you comparing the
celebrating.
Lions to
I'm not
the
celebrating.
Lions? I
I'm not
don't want.
celebrating.
What am I comparing them to?
You should compare it to other teams. You should compare it to the New England Patriots, who are a woebegone franchise and got the right people in place and won Super Bowls. You should compare it to the Chicago Bears, who have done this.
They've done
in
nothing.
my lifetime.
They've done nothing.
The Chicago Bears have won a Super Bowl and went to another
the
Super Bowl.
80s.
Knock
They
it
haven't
off.
done
No,
anything.
they
Rex
actually,
Grossman? Come on.
they actually went to a Super Bowl as well in 2007.
With Rex Grossman.
Okay, so that's what you should compare it to the Green Bay Packers, who have gone like this and won multiple Super
You
Bowls.
got to be self-aware and look at your team.
You
like
need
comparing us to what.
Are you saying you got to be self-aware at the same time you're celebrating mediocrity?
I'ma tell
Please
you this.
tell me you are.
9-7 is not
Hey,
mediocrity.
It is absolutely
It's
mediocre.
a winning record.
Hold on, Clarence. Hold up, Sean. This is one thing I don't do.
Call me by my government name.
That's one thing we don't do. Listen, Clarence. His mom was a.
Why are you laughing so hard
this
at my
guy's a
name?
gangster.
Listen,
this guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence.
This is why other fan bases. I'm being
serious.
serious now. This is why other fan bases laugh at the Lions. I'm being serious. This is why.
other
This
fan
is why.
bases.
This is
I
why.
don't care. You
Other,
haven't
this
been
is
through
why
what I've
other
been through.
fan bases.
And that's
because
another thing here.
Other fan
I do not
bases
look
want
at
more,
other people.
and you have Stick here who's going, hooray, 9-7. Give me a 9. Give me a 7. That's never going to be
that's not
good
what we're
enough.
doing. Hold up, hold up, Sticks.
Unless
Hold up,
you
Sticks.
win,
Hold up,
unless
Sticks.
you win a Super Bowl. Tom's 9-7 is good.
No.
9-7 and making the playoffs and getting hammered by Seattle. 9-7 and missing the playoffs isn't good enough. Bye-bye. It's time for a new coach. And just because
They made
Matt
the playoffs
Patricia
at
didn't
9-7.
work, they also missed the playoffs at 9-7.
Okay, but they also made it. So what are we doing
and
here?
it's not gonna. If
know-
you
you know
listen,
what's
you'd
funny?
hear I said both of them.
Listen.
You don't want to listen.
I'm listening, but you said
You're
9-7 and not making the playoffs isn't good enough.
Okay,
9-7 and making the playoffs is.
Did I or did I not say 9-7 and getting hammered in the playoffs was not good enough? Okay, listen, please listen, then we can have a conversation. So 9-7, making the playoffs and getting hammered isn't good enough. Then going 9-7 and missing the playoffs is not good enough. It's never good enough. So at that point in time, you make a change. Now, it just so happens
Is it in
that
the
that change
roster or
was
is it in the
awful.
coaching staff? Is
Both.
it in the roster
Both.
or is it the coaching staff?
Both.
How's that both? When
I mean,
Cole
you tell me.
exceeded-
We went over that earlier.
So a team that's projected to win 5 and they end up winning 9. You'd
Because
say that's
we
a
know-
failure
And it's
on the
coach's
coach.
We
fault.
know those
That's a failure on
projections
the coach.
always are spot on. We know that.
They are what they are. It's what we're going off of.
Well, we shouldn't go off it
Then
because
what are you going
it's called
off
a
of?
projection. I'm going off of real-time events.
Well, like, look at Michigan.
Real-time events.
You know,
Let's use
hold on,
Michigan
hold on,
as an
Stick,
example this year.
Let me get this out.
Okay.
Sean wants, he looks around the NFL at other teams and look at their winning coach and say, I want that. That's what he does.
Right.
How's that worked out for us? Going out, pulling people from other franchises that are winning and
we
bringing
should
that
just stop
culture.
and accept
Hold
9-7.
on, Sean. Hold on, Sean. Let me finish. I'll let you finish. Let me get this out there. Let me finish. You know, we got to have a timer.
Yeah, Kanye moment.
All right, here we go. So let's get this right. He wants to go out here to these other teams and bring their culture back to the Lions where we can have a winning culture. Mm-hmm. All right, we brought in, who was that? Joe Lombardi.
Mm-hmm.
How did that offense work out for the Detroit Lions?
Not great.
How did that work out for the Saints?
A little bit better, but not great.
It
I think Joe
out.
Lombardi was pretty good in New Orleans.
He was pretty good in New
pretty
Orleans.
good in New Orleans.
Yes.
They didn't win the Super Bowl.
He was pretty good in New Orleans.
It worked. It worked for them. It didn't work for us. I don't look around the NFL and see what other teams are doing and say, I want to bring that back here. I look at us internally. We need to be the best player that we can be in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bring no culture from any. I just want to have our own winning
You're right.
culture. That's what I want to have.
I agree with that.
I want to have what they have as far as having a winning culture, but I don't want their culture. I want our culture. Our culture.
So, Sean, you agree with that, but what's your standard of a winning culture? Because if 9-7,
Not 9-7.
but that's winning, right?
All right. I want you to compare that to the rest of the National Football League. Who?
I'm
how does
comparing
that
it to
compare?
winning and losing. Is
How does that
9-7
compare?
winning?
No. Because Joik, you tell
Then if
me.
we can't operate
Joik,
in reality, I don't know what we're doing here. 9-7 is winning.
All right, this is. Let me tell you this.
Wait, you're talking about reality.
Okay.
I'm talking about winning playoff games.
Okay.
Who's in reality?
Okay, let me. So let's revert back. Is 97 good enough? No, when you don't make the playoffs.
Thank you.
Is 97 good enough when you make the playoffs and
No.
you win the Super Bowl? Yes, it's good enough. Has there ever been a team that won 97 won the Super Bowl? Yes or no?
Yes.
Was 97 good for them?
Yes.
All right then. So 97 is good enough when you
Tom,
win
remember
playoff
I
games.
said that to you 10 minutes ago? Remember when I brought up your Giants 10 minutes ago? That was cool.
Right.
You
Exactly.
guys do a real good job of listening. Yes, so
No, I'm listening.
No,
I'm just trying to
no.
understand
9
what
and
your
7.
bar is. Is it 10-6 if they were 10-6, or is it just the playoffs?
Do you know what my bar is? Go in the playoffs and win some
So
damn
it's
playoff
just
games.
playoffs.
It's just-
Absolutely.
it's playoffs.
Nothing else matters.
Anything less than that, you are not successful. You are not successful.
Even when you take a team that
You are
hasn't
not
been to
suc-
the playoffs in 20 years and you establish them as a
Well,
playoff
if he-
team,
if-
500%.
If that was
50-50.
true, if that was true, I would give you a thumbs up. But since that's not true, I can't give you a thumbs up because they went to the playoffs in 2011 under Jim Schwartz. So that's
And what happened there?
they got hammered just like they got
and
hammered
how
with
long
Jim
did it take 'em to
Caldwell.
get back?
Hold on, we got hammered.
How long did it
Hold
take?
on,
3 years
wait. We got hammered?
You got hammered against the Saints. You got hammered against the Saints.
That was the Swartz.
Yes, and you got
You-
you got hammered against the Seattle Seahawks as well. You got hammered.
That was because they didn't give me the ball. You tell me how many carries I had that
And
game.
what do you want me to say? So,
You tell
so
hold on, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. From 2000, listen, for the whole 2016 season, when has one running back had every carry in the game for the Lions? That entire year. You tell me one game with one running back, with one, just one. And you know we've always been a running back by committee.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me one game that entire season when one running back got every single carry of that game.
I don't remember.
It's never happened. It happened that game.
Which one?
Seattle.
Did it really?
That happened in Seattle. Not one single
You guys were
run.
overmatched. I mean, that's it. Now this is where okay. Now I'm going to be serious. When you guys start 9-4, and then people are talking about not only making the playoffs but winning the division, and then your last 3 games of the season you get hammered, and then you go into the playoffs and you get hammered. Okay, should I just go 9-7's great? What a wonderful season. Or should I
say if we don't go
should
to
I go,
playoffs?
gosh, damn it, do I want more than... No, I'm basically telling you what happened in 2016.
It's
Oh,
okay to want more, but it's also important to understand winning is good.
So then the
winning
next
is
year,
always good.
So
We
then
play to win the game.
So then the next, well, you also play to win in the playoffs. And that's what this franchise has to start putting the bar at. The bar's
In
here.
50
it
years,
should
we
be
have
here.
one playoff
And
win,
so
Sean.
you want, does that
One.
mean you stop wanting more?
No,
Okay.
I'm not saying that, but that means
stay hungry.
Then why are
you
accepting Jim Caldwell?
Because I'm accepting that he was the most success. He gave us the
Wonderful,
most
and
opportunity
it wasn't good
the
enough.
best chance.
Wonderful, and it wasn't
because
good
we
enough.
cut him short on his time, not because he wasn't good enough.
We
He
failed
went 9 and
Caldwell.
7, man. The
We
record-
did fail.
We failed
Jim.
Caldwell. We failed Jim.
See, you know what? I can't win this argument for one reason. I'll tell you.
'Cause
You
we're
guys,
right?
no, you guys are talking about things that didn't happen, and I live in fact land. Okay, when you guys
You're saying winning is losing, that's not fact land.
no, what you just said is we failed Jim Caldwell. You're basing that on what we didn't see. I'm talking about everything we saw.
What do you mean
okay?
we didn't see?
I don't know what 2018 would have been like under Jim Caldwell.
Oh,
I
when
don't
I
have
tell-
no
well,
idea.
no, when
I
I
have
told
no
you-
idea what 20.
When I
So
told you
I'm
we
talking.
failed
This
Jim
is
Caldwell,
fact land.
I'm talking
in
about.
fact land.
I'm talking about when we played. I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We
so
failed.
I'm
it.
talking about real results. I'm talking about a coach who in 2016 had this team at 9-4. Everybody was excited. They got hammered their last 3 games of the season, got hammered in the playoffs, then followed that up in 2017 with a gift. All they had to do was go to Cincinnati and beat a shitty Bengals team. Gosh darn it, I owe $1 to get into the playoffs. And it was a crap fest on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Thank you. You tried. Jim, if it makes you feel better, you were better than any other Lion coach. But you weren't good enough. It's time to try something different. It's not that difficult to figure out.
I'm gonna tell you this. He came in his first year and took an almost identical team from the previous year that went 7-9 and took us 11-5. Took us to the playoffs. His very first year.
Mm-hmm.
Loses that almost like a different team the following year defensively. We have the weapons now. D-line's gone. We lose our star player, the Dominican Sue. Tully's coming back off a knee injury towards his ACL. We're not the same team. Started off pretty bad, finished strong, and he comes back, has 2 more winning seasons, and has another playoff appearance with a lesser team. And then we fire him, and we bring in somebody who doesn't even get close to the playoffs. And now we're back down. Now we're back. The winning season is not the standard anymore. Now we're back to the same.
No. See, that's where you make a mistake. And Terry Foster and I were talking about this the other day. I'm going to go back 20 years in the past, okay? And I'm going to use Matt Millen again. Matt Millen took over after the Lions went 9-7 and missed the playoffs on the last game of the year. A 54-yard field goal kept the Lions out of the playoffs.
Was that Justin Tucker?
Paul Ettinger kicked a 54-yard field goal, kept the Lions out of the playoffs. You know what I appreciated about the franchise at that point in time? They said, look, this shit ain't good enough. We have to try something different. Right. Let's try Matt Millen. Matt Millen was obviously the worst general manager in the history of mankind. Okay?
Now that's where you messed up.
Why?
You said they looked at it and said this isn't good enough. And you also said that the way that the Lions operated before wasn't working. So they reverted back to the old way, saying 9-7 isn't good enough, and then we reverted back to what happened.
No, but Joy, this is where I'm going to ask you to listen. It doesn't mean that you don't try. Matt Millen didn't work, but do you try? Does that mean, hey, we're happy? We're going to stay in 9-7 land for the next 10 years, and we're going to be content, and we're going to hold hands, and we might get in the playoff every other year, and we're going to win a couple No, we're not going to win a couple playoff games, but we're going to go to the playoffs every couple of years, and everything will be good. That just because something doesn't work doesn't mean you don't try. You know what I get? Let me tie this to the draft. Do you know what people get mad about?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are the Lions thinking about another wide receiver again? Just because Mike Williams didn't work, just because Charles Rogers doesn't work, does that mean we don't draft Calvin Johnson? But that's what people were saying out there. You think I'm joking? That's real. Maz, get my. Oh, we're drafting another wide receiver again? Oh, that's crazy. Well, you have to keep trying. Charles Rogers didn't work. Mike Williams didn't work. To an extent, Roy Williams, I agree with you, Stick. Yeah. But does that mean, we can't keep trying? You have to keep trying. And to me, that's what this is about. You have to keep trying to be better. Do you guys honestly think that they were going to go like this under Coach Caldwell? I'm not being funny. I'm being sincere. Do you guys think they were going to go like this?
Here's what I think with Caldwell is it's kind of like the threw the baby out with the bathwater thing. Like, yes, they had to make changes, but that was not the change that they had to make. It was more on the personnel side than the coaching side. And we look at a guy, I know Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl or won a couple or early in his tenure, but since then, he hasn't made the playoffs some years, right? And they've gone 9-7, and because they're the Steelers and they have that winning culture, they let him keep going to the next year because they know this guy's a good coach. He can get us there. He has gotten there before, and they don't give up on him just because one year it didn't really work out their way. And that's what I really feel the Lions did. And 9-7 is great record for the Lions, whether you want to admit it or not. It is. Over the course of our history, it's a great record.
Stop comparing the Lions to the Lions,
Yes,
please.
Okay, well, I'm comparing them to the Steelers now.
No. Your best argument there, Stick, is to say 9-7 is a good foundation,
yes,
a good layer for the Lions.
Now,
that's the standard. We don't lose any games. I mean, we don't have any losing seasons. That's where we set the bar, right? And then we only build from there.
Right. And also what I'm saying is a coach that has proven that over 4 years, you don't all of a sudden say you're not good enough and we need an improvement. You at least give him more time to prove
give him more
himself.
weapons. I don't think they should have let go. I think they should have made changes in the personnel, Sean. You cannot sit here and say he had the weapons he needed to go on a run in the playoff. You can't sit here and say and be honest.
I
mean, they got rid of one of his star players on Slay.
You know what I can also say?
Let me say that they got rid of two of the stars on defense. You get rid of Slay. You get rid of Condre Diggs. These are your leaders.
You know what I can also say? I can also say there's zero evidence that Jim Caldwell had it within him to take this step. To take a step up. There's zero evidence. If you want to talk about hope, I can't argue with you. If you want to talk about a year that didn't happen, I can talk to you. That's why I'm saying let's stay in fact land.
All right,
let's talk about what actually happened, okay?
Hold
on. Stick.
Yes.
Let me get this out. Let's talk about evidence. What evidence did Matt Patricia show you that he could be a qualified head coach? Evidence.
While he was here?
No. Before he came. What evidence?
Oh, it was all buzz. That's all it was.
All buzz.
It was all buzz.
No evidence.
No, it was
but
all
we
buzz.
was all sold. You were sold on
it was all buzz.
And you were sold on Matt
I
Patricia.
think everybody was, weren't we?
No, I was pissed.
You guys, okay.
Honestly, I'll show you my Facebook memories.
Sean, look at me. Sean, I need your eyes here, Sean. Who am I sitting here going to bat for right now? Caldwell. So why would I be happy with Matt Patricia? Not saying he's not saying he's a bad person, but why?
Listen again. We can't have an adult conversation if you guys can't accept the fact that he was a hot name for a reason.
That doesn't mean I was happy
and
about
I'm not
bringing
saying,
him here.
If you want to talk, was every single human happy, Stick? You're right. Not every. There was a reason.
You can't say you guys were happy. I wasn't. Adam knew me when they made that hire. Was I happy that they got rid of Caldwell 3 years ago?
You know what I'm excited about? Campbell. I'm excited about him.
Keep pushing. Listen, a majority of Lion fans were happy that the Lions got.
And they were all fucking wrong.
If you're right, does that mean you stop trying?
That means they were wrong, Sean.
You're right.
That means
you're right. You're right. Why is it difficult for you to say you're right? Jim Caldwell wasn't good enough.
Because I believe he was good enough.
Based on what?
His record? The fact that he got us to the playoffs 50% of the time?
You're happy,
the fact that he took a perennial losing franchise and turned them into a consistent playoff team?
Answer the question. I'm answering your questions. This is how conversations happen.
Listen, I was answering the question. You kept talking.
So Jim Caldwell was good enough. That's what you're telling me.
I'm telling you, Jim Caldwell was the first coach in my lifetime that had us competitive.
Ooh, the spin
it's not spinning. He had us. Were we competitive? Did we make the playoffs 50% of the time?
Good enough? Yes or no?
For the Lions, yes. For what we needed to be at that point, it's just like saying,
comparing the Lions.
Was Rick Carlisle good enough?
You want more.
Hey,
you want more.
Hey,
what Lion fan doesn't want more?
Carlisle.
What Lion fan doesn't want more for this franchise?
Was Rick Carlisle good enough when he was the coach of the Pistons up until 2003?
They felt that they could do more and could be better, and he could get more out of them.
Right.
Since he didn't do it. So thank you for helping my argument.
No. What did they bring in? An established, proven guy who has taken teams to that level. Every stop of the way, he improved the team. We pick some name out of a hat and expect him to be better than the guy who has been better than any coach in 50 years. And y'all celebrated it? You celebrated it? No. And then look at Rick Carlisle.
Coming from the guy who celebrated 9-7. Yeah, you can't make this stuff
I'm
up.
so stupid for celebrating playoff berths.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm
it wasn't
a Lions
good enough.
fan, bro. Anytime we're in the fight, I'm happy.
Joik, you as a player, was 9-7 and getting hammered in the playoffs good enough in 2016. Why you're on?
Well, I got to the last 5 games of the season. And
Joik, you as a player in 2016 going 9-7 and getting hammered in the playoffs, is that good enough? I know the answer. You don't have to say it.
No, it's not good enough.
So why can't we as fans want more? No. That's always been my point.
But you're looking at one side of the story. So let me ask you this question: we go to the playoff, we beat Seattle, but we lose the second round. Are you happy with that?
It's progress. I would
get into the playoffs is progress for the Lions.
But you
Thank you.
We're talking about progress. We're talking about progress here. We're talking about progress. We're talking about progress.
This is why this is a franchise is losers because we compare our less than to what other teams are doing, and we have to stop that.
Listen.
Stop that. As Lion fans,
when I was in high school, I was an all-state track runner, and I was running those hurdles, right? Breaking school records, breaking regional records, breaking the stadium record at different schools. When I ran those hurdles, I never looked to my left. I never looked to my right. I only focused on my race. I'm not focused on any other NFL team in that culture unless they're in my way again to the playoffs. Now,
rather than always be a loser. If 9-7 is the bar, then I'm always going to be a
9-7 is the basement.
No.
And we were there, and now we're no longer there.
9-7.
So you're happy with the basement?
I didn't tell you. That's not what I said, Sean. I said I'm happy with a winning culture, and 9-7 is good enough when you make it to the playoffs. 9-7 when we didn't go to the playoffs, that wasn't good enough. 9-7 and going to the playoffs, that's good enough. That's good.
Ali said we got robbed in the playoffs against Dallas.
Yes, we did, but we're not going to talk about that.
Against Seattle, you got robbed?
No, he's talking about Dallas.
You got your ass kicked, man.
Hey, because they didn't use his ass kicked. Hey, you know why? Because we didn't use all of our weapons. We didn't use. I never got one run that game.
Maybe that's your coach's fault.
Or the GM.
Hi, Art.
Hi, I just have a quick question. Why did we spend 26 minutes talking about a coach that never led us to the Super Bowl? I'm just wondering.
How about led to a playoff game?
He led us to 2 playoff games.
A playoff win.
Art.
A playoff
win. What coach you want to talk about, Art?
All right.
What coach you want to talk about, Art?
You just said the playoffs.
You just said the playoffs.
I don't think you understand.
This is what happens when you're getting destroyed.
I don't think you guys understand this.
And that's what you're doing right now.
I don't think you guys understand what I'm telling you this.
It.
I don't think you guys understand what I'm telling you this. This is a Detroit sports. This is Detroit sports show.
Right.
What other teams are we going to talk about? What other coach you want to talk about? Huh, Art?
But Art, you know what the problem is? Because I can say to Joik, and I said to Joik, was 9-7 and not winning a playoff good enough? But I get it. Players have to stick up for their coach, and I respect Joik for that. I'm not being short.
No. All players do not. No.
If you like a guy, you're going to stick up for your guy.
Well, yeah. If he earned it, respect is earned in this league.
Couldn't agree with you more. So with that being said, what earns respect? What earns respect?
Turning a perennial loser into a consistent
playoff
team.
I played for Jim Caldwell under 2 teams.
Consistent playoff team.
I played for Jim Caldwell.
That's how you start, though, Sean. That's how you start, though.
Okay, you know what?
I'll go back again to the 2001 Pistons.
Joik and I go. That's a really bad analogy because you're actually supporting mine.
But they had to get through the first. They had to get their ass kicked by the Celtics in the first round. Then the next year they went back and they moved on to the next round. Then the next year they moved back, and it's a process. You have to go through the process.
You know what?
And if you're not even in the playoffs, you don't have a chance.
So what you're saying then is Coach Carlisle could only get them to a certain point, and it was time to go with somebody else. Yeah.
Okay. And who did they go with?
It was time to go with somebody else.
Or Buddy Ball?
It was time to go with somebody else.
That's the thing. Now you want
to. The spin isn't working.
It's not a spin. They brought in one of the greatest basketball coaches.
We're talking about not good enough.
This goes back to Joik's point about having a plan.
If you don't want to listen, we can't have a conversation.
Hold on, Sean. Hey, we're up against the break right now. Hey, stay tuned. Hey, we're up against the break. We're going to keep the same energy. Stay tuned. We're not done with this conversation. It's going to continue. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Sean Baligian Sticks. Drake Bell.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. By this logic, Scott just said, by this logic, Wayne Font should never have been fired because he got us to the playoffs half the time and actually won a playoff game. Yes. Like Scott, again, thank you. There are people out there that are logical. And they're, Stick, I'm just using your words. He's using your words.
No.
That's all. Did you say that?
But you also said winning a playoff game makes you a great coach, and all they have to do is win.
Never
Didn't
said
Fonts
that.
win a playoff game?
Adam, I'm not going to. Adam, did I say that?
Is it the point-winning playoff games?
Just look at Adam. Because
Adam agrees with you on this. Of course he's going to back you up. Me and Adam have had this argument.
Then Stick, please, if we're going to have a conversation, don't make shit up because I can't have a conversation with somebody who's making stuff up. How am I? I never said it's
$1 in the jar.
$1.
$1 in the jar.
You said if Caldwell didn't win a playoff
Jesse,
game, it's a failure.
you can get mad at me if you want. I'm dealing with maniacs in here, and I need some peace right now.
Did you not say making the playoffs and not winning a game is a failure?
Yes.
So wouldn't that make Wayne Fonts not a failure?
No, it wouldn't. Because I also said, Stick, you could make the argument that Jim Caldwell was the best coach for the Lions. So it's not that difficult. You're making it more difficult. Wayne Fonts wasn't good enough. Ask Wayne Fonts players. Do you know what? I'm not going to name any names. I can tell you multiple guys from the early 90s who were left sitting back saying, man, we should have won more. You know what? I will name one. Lomas Brown.
Oh, yeah.
My brother. Lomas Brown is the first guy that says we should have won more.
Those were talented teams.
Those were unbelievable teams.
Yeah.
And okay, so here, I would understand your guys' point more if the trajectory of Jim Caldwell went like this, took over. And you got to remember, he didn't take over a shit team.
No.
Not a shit team.
What was our record?
7-9.
7-9. And what did he take us?
Okay, so
sit down.
Let me take it to its full conclusion. I could understand your argument more if what you're alluding to went like this. It didn't. What you're alluding to went like this.
All right.
His best team.
How did the roster go?
His
Did
best
the roster
team.
do this?
His best team was his first team. Okay,
You're right.
So if your trajectory was like that, I would be the first guy to say this is garbage, man. This guy got a raw deal. Do you know what we saw? We saw.
Let's talk about this. Sean. Let's talk about this.
If you can't let me finish, what was that you said about let me finish? Okay. If we saw upward trajectory, if we saw upward trajectory, I would be the first guy to say this is kind of bush. That team plateaued. Let's be honest. They plateaued into a mediocre team. They did. 9-7 is mediocre. They plateaued. It's okay to say that.
Was that the same roster?
11-5 was a damn good team.
Same roster?
And I agree with you. 11-5 was a damn good team. Okay? But when you guys went down to 7-9 and then back up to 9-7 and made the playoffs and lost your last 4 games of the year, and then went to 9-7 and didn't make the playoffs, what makes me think this is heading in the right direction?
All right. Let's rewind it back. I want to tap on something you said earlier.
Will you guys answer that or no? Or are we just going to let that go?
Jim.
Okay. We're going to let it go.
No. We're going to talk about that. But I want to get to the
context.
Yeah. The first thing you said. You said that when Jim Caldwell came in,
yes,
if his trajectory would have did this, it didn't do that.
No.
Right?
No.
But did the roster do this too?
No.
What did the roster do?
No. The roster meandered. The roster meandered.
No.
You don't think it did?
No.
I thought the 2016 team was pretty good, man.
Who?
The 2016 team was pretty good.
It was okay.
You guys jumped out to a 9-4. That was a pretty good team.
It was okay.
I think it's good. Come on, be in fairness.
They were good. They're not a 2014.
No, I think 2014 was better. I think that's safe to say.
So
number 3 defense in the league.
This.
I think it's safe to say.
We had that team in 2013, and you and I talked about this before. Mm-hmm. We knew we had a small window, a 24-month window, to make a playoff run. We knew we had that. We had a ridiculous roster, right? they fired Jim Schwartz, 2013. They bring in Caldwell. I remember his first meeting. He came and he said, "We have to win now," because he knew he only had 12 months. That window had closed from 24 to 12 months. He knew he had to win now. Sean, why are you listen to me, Sean?
You just gave me a gift. I'm going to wait for you to finish, but you just gave me a gift.
We have to win now. We have to win now.
You literally, it's Christmas Eve right now, and I know what's under that tree. But go ahead.
All right.
I think you know where I'm going with this too.
Right.
But
we go
finish
11-5.
your dinner.
We go 11-5. We get to the playoffs. We lose to Dallas. I'm not going to say that call made us lose. We had other opportunities to win the game. I understand.
You guys
that.
got screwed.
Yeah. No, we got screwed. But
that shanked punt really hurt.
Yeah.
Your offense really hurt.
Yeah, that shanked punt.
Yeah. So we had other opportunities to win the game, but with some bad calls. But hey, it's the game. It's the game. 2015, that team we split up. It was no longer. We didn't have that same historical defense we once had. I mean, they put up some ridiculous numbers. I think teams averaged 60-some yards rushing on them the entire year, a game. I mean, it was ridiculous. The roster went from here, down here, to back up to probably to back up a little bit, and then back down to 17. And he still took those teams to a winning season.
You know what I always liked about Jim Caldwell? You know what? And I'm serious. This is not. I'm not being swarmy. In his comments yesterday about Matthew Stafford, Jim Caldwell not only preached accountability, which I think we all have to do, but he held himself to accountability. Okay. So when you said to me, Jim Caldwell's comments, when he came in, were we have to win now. If he didn't win now, and he didn't win a playoff game, what does that say?
Give him more time.
Okay, so we gave him time.
With a better roster. Give him more time with a better roster.
Give him more weapons.
And more weapons.
Okay, all right. So 2016, the roster improved. You were a pretty good team. I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to say that you were 1 through 53 as good as 2014, but that was a pretty good team, right? Fair enough. You guys started out 9-4. You started out 9-4.
Yeah.
You lost your last 3 games and you got hammered in the playoffs. Okay, then you turned around in 2017 with, again, I'm going to use your logic, your franchise quarterback, and you couldn't beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the second to last game to assure yourself a playoff spot, and you missed the playoffs. That's not good enough over the course of 4 years. If I'm using his words, not mine, his words, we have to win now. Well, you didn't win now. I'm also going to take into consideration that they had a disaster. By the way,
we did win now, but we didn't have playoff wins.
Yeah,
but we had to.
Can we all agree on this? Again, no yelling. I'm peaceful now because I packed my dip. Sorry, Jesse. No, can we playoff wins? We all want playoff wins.
Yes,
right?
I think we all agree that
we all want playoff wins.
So 97 is good enough when you can win the Super Bowl or win playoff games. 11-5 is not good enough when you can't win one playoff.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like,
Wouldn't you
literally,
agree?
just
Wouldn't you
throw
agree?
out the regular season.
All jokes
'cause
aside,
all
wouldn't
we're
you
talking
agree?
about is playoffs now, right?
Yeah, well, no,
like,
you have
literally.
to. You have to have.
I'm talking Super Bowl.
You have to get in the playoffs first.
I don't give a.
But
listen,
you're not giving him any credit for making the playoffs.
No, I'm not, because
listen, I don't
he
care
didn't
about
win
playoff
anything.
wins. I don't care about playoff wins. I care about the Super Bowl.
Am
But
I
care
going
about
crazy
progress.
up here? Like,
Yes, yes, you
because
are.
honestly, because
to answer your question, yes.
Because the thing is this.
Yes, you are.
Because the thing, like, ultimately, Sean, you don't want playoff wins. You want a Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I could
Can I
accept
finish?
your Jim Caldwell argument more if Jim Caldwell found a way to win a playoff game or two. Then I could say, let's give him a chance. I'm going to use the same analogy. Marvin Jones had a hell of a lot of success for a disastrous franchise. He did. You have to give Marvin Jones credit for having
great talent.
Cincinnati's
Great talent.
pretty damn good
Great
talent. And there were a couple teams that
Great
were
talent.
iffy, okay? But at the end of the day, why do you think Marvin Jones was fired? After all those years, even winning divisions, going to the playoffs, he was 0-7 in the playoffs. He was 0-7, man. I mean, and that's, to me, it starts with playoff wins. And you have to get in the playoffs, and if you can't win a playoff game, then I'm going to sit back and go, hey, you can't win a playoff game, and the team took a step back this year. And it's time to move in a different direction because you should want more. Now I'm going to use your Carlisle argument. Carlisle was I like Coach Carlisle.
Loved him too.
A lot.
Yeah.
I really do. He actually called my show the day he got fired. I mean, shout out to Rick. But at the end of the day, you know what? This franchise wanted more. Now, it just so happens for the Pistons it worked, okay?
Well,
the difference is It did work.
Yeah, it
bringing
worked.
Larry Brown
I'm not
in
saying
worked.
it didn't work, but like it worked because they brought in one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time, not some dude that was an OC or an offensive basketball genius to come in and move the bar. So it was a hiring, like it was a mistake, and this is how this whole thing started is, fine, change out Caldwell, but have someone better to bring in. Don't just change for the sake of change, which is exactly what they did by bringing in somebody with zero head coaching experience to take a team to the next level.
Why did they bring him in? Because of what?
Marvin
The
Buddy
buzz?
Ball, by the way.
Because of the buzz? Because of the buzz?
The buzz? I didn't have any buzz around this guy. He just let up 45 points in the Super Bowl.
Stick. So I'm going to walk right back to my wide receiver point. If we can agree that this isn't good enough, does that mean we stop trying? It was a mistake. You move on from a mistake. It's just like, you know what?
You could have
avoided
the mistake,
you know what's great
that's
about
my
You know
issue.
why I loved it? Well, you know what? You could have avoided it, but what I know is Jim Caldwell wasn't good enough. I know that.
That's fine, but you bring in like a Bill Cowher. You bring in somebody with pedigree. You bring in somebody to push you over the top.
You just pushed the goalposts into Windsor there.
No, why?
So you really did. Forget down Woodward. It's the goalposts are sitting. I'm going to say hi to my buddy Steve Bell. Hi, Steve.
What's up,
listen to me.
Olette?
Did it go through the border? Or
No, after goalposts, you don't have to check anything.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
but listen to what you just said. And by the way, I agree with you. If you're going to make, you had to make a change because it wasn't working. Your problem was with who they brought in. And if you want to make that argument, I agree with you. But if they would have brought in,
that was the whole argument, Sean.
No, that wasn't his argument.
The argument was you fired.
He
you
just
fired
pushed
without a
goalpost
plan.
down.
What Stick said?
Actually, they had a
let me
plan.
know if
It
I'm
didn't
wrong.
work.
Stick said that we had the best coach in the Super Bowl era in a Jim Caldwell, and you go out and you replace him with a guy who has no experience as a head. That's what I'm telling you. What he's saying.
Joik. No, but what
we're gonna have a conversation,
What
you
he
gotta
also
listen,
said.
Sean.
What he also no, I am listening. I am listening.
If we're going to have an adult conversation.
What you also said is you just said, and this is, listen to yourself, man. You just said if you bring in a Bill Cowher, then that's okay. So then. What you're telling me then is Jim Caldwell wasn't good enough.
No,
why would you bring in a Bill Cowher?
Jim Caldwell is good enough if you don't have anything better. That is the point. You don't throw away the best thing you ever had unless you have a plan to move on to something better.
Well, they had a plan and it didn't work.
But that's not a plan. That's not a plan. A plan hiring
Why
your
would
buddy
you stick
that
with
you
something?
sat in film rooms with
you know
for
what?
years just because you want to
we're
win.
digging down right now.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example right now. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. You make your brisket.
Oh boy! Now
You
we're
make
talking
and
his
we're
language.
gonna take it to food terminologies. You make your brisket, right? You have it on the smoker for about 10 or 12 hours. You get that temperature to 202. You take it out. You hold it in the air. You smack it. It got that little jiggle you like. You hold it. You shake it. It got a little jiggle. You put it on your plate. You cut through it. It's nice and tender, and you bite into it. It's juicy, but you know what? Just a little bland. Let me add a little bit of salt to it. Are you gonna add salt to it? Or are you gonna let me throw this away?
No.
Let me throw this away. Let me throw this whole brisket away.
No,
let me start over.
You know what I'll do, Joik? I'll buy another brisket and try to make it better. I'll eat it because I have to, but I'll buy another brisket and I'll learn from my mistakes and I'll try to make.
Right?
So
you're gonna
I want to get back to brisket. You guys are pushing past this, and I'm not the only one hearing this. Okay? No, you guys are pushing back past this because, like, what you're saying to me, Stick, is Jim Caldwell wasn't good enough. We're digging down.
No.
If you're considering bringing in a coach, then what you're saying is the coach you have isn't good enough.
No, what I'm saying
then why
is,
would you bring in?
what
Why
I'm
would you
saying is
consider
you
bringing
need
in
to
a different
consider
coach?
bringing in a better coach.
A better coach.
So then that
proven
means
coach.
he wasn't good enough.
No.
That means he was the best.
Why would you make a change if he wasn't good enough?
You make the change if there's a better coach. That's
You
what I'm
guys,
saying.
please-
A better
please hear
coach.
this.
You don't
You
throw
guys are
out.
hearing this, right?
Hey,
Let's be honest.
It's got to be a better coach, Sean. What's wrong with that?
Hold on. Just because something's good doesn't mean it can't be improved.
Correct. I agree with that.
You're absolutely right.
You
Just
guys
like
are
the
being
Lions.
so unfair to Sean.
No. That's not what you said.
Just
That's-
because you were
that's not
mediocre
what you
doesn't
said,
mean that you
Sean.
can't be
Sean,
improved.
your exact words, he wasn't good enough, and that's why you
He
make the
wasn't good
change.
enough.
And you
He
only
wasn't
make a
good
change
enough.
when they're not good enough.
He wasn't good
You
enough.
can be good and still
He
make
wasn't-
changes.
Joy, were they good enough when you played?
No.
Thank you. All right,
And
what
what
are we
happened?
getting into next?
Oh,
Hi, Adam. How are you?
Adam.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you're not going to want to hear what Adam says.
Adam. Adam. What are you, before we switch topic, let's get your take on it. Can you still be a good coach and still be fired?
Of course.
Marty
Okay.
Schottenheimer went 14-2.
But that's not you guys. You guys are not hearing Sean's point. You're really not listening.
No, you're
Mike
not
McCarthy
listening.
was fired.
Thank
Mike
you.
McCarthy was fired. The Packers brought in LaFleur, 26-6 in his 2 seasons, 2 NFC Championship appearances. You can make changes to a good roster, and it can improve. Where the Lions fucked up was they didn't hire the right coach, and the GM made the right decision. That has nothing. Let me finish. That has nothing to do with Jim Caldwell not doing enough to keep his job. You can't sit there and say, I'll bring in Bill Cowher, and then sit there and defend Jim Caldwell. You can't have it both ways.
yes, you can. If you push the goalpost to Windsor, you can.
No. Listen to me.
Let's talk about it. Let's have this conversation because I didn't say bring in Bill. I didn't say nothing. I never said that.
I use that as an example.
What I'm saying is Coach Caldwell.
Better.
What I'm saying is Coach Caldwell was the best coach we had. It was nothing. If you're going to bring in something better, not something that's going to decline what we've already built towards.
And I get it.
We built it to here. All right, Caldwell's not good enough. Okay, fine.
Right. Now,
Like
who's
Sean
better than
says,
Caldwell?
But one thing I
can be
respect
true,
about
though.
this organization is that when he brought in Matt Patricia, that's your guy. You brought him in. You put your name on the line with him. All right, when he go, you pack your bags too.
I love
That's
that.
one thing I respect about the decision they made with letting go of
So,
Balquin.
I want to sum this up because I've pinned Joik down, and I'm going to pin Stick. Is
You're not gonna
9-7
pin me
and
down.
no playoff wins good enough for you, Stick?
To me, it's all about making the playoffs, and that's it. Because
It's about making now you Sticks. I gotta go with Sean. Now you switching up. Now it's
You
about
guys can
playoff
switch
win.
it up.
Now it's winning
No,
coaching.
here's
now
the
you
thing.
now he done push it across. I gotta
No, it's not about
We're
that,
in
guys.
Kitchener,
It's
Ontario
about
right now.
establishing
We're way
a
down the
culture of
401.
winning. It's
We're
about
way down the
establishing a culture
401.
of winning, and you do that by baby steps. You don't just show up to the fucking Super Bowl one year.
Sean
you
made
gotta
the
start
point
here,
earlier,
and then you
though.
make
There
the
was
playoffs
no
baby steps.
consistently.
Stick.
Once you become a consistent playoff team, you add pieces to win the next level. Once you win the AFC or the
dollar in the
NFC,
swear
then you
jar.
keep adding
Dollar
it's
in the
just-
swear jar.
It's like I don't understand how you don't understand. You got to
Dollar in
go
the
through
swear jar,
steps.
Sticks.
You got
We
to
got
go
kids
through
watching.
steps.
And you know what?
we were here. Now we're here, and you're like, well, at least we tried, guys.
Yeah,
we
so you
gotta
keep
try.
trying. Absolutely.
Try what to
If
be
something-
worse?
No,
Because
no.
if something wasn't
there's
working,
no such thing as
you
trying,
try to
bro.
be better.
There's no such thing as
And
trying.
you bring in somebody that you know is better,
And
not
it-
somebody
and
that's
it-
a question mark, which is what
Well,
they
he was,
did.
I'ma
he
tell
was,
you that.
he was a
Hey,
question mark
problem.
to you, but he wasn't a question mark to most people. He failed, okay?
What do you- then how is he
what
not
I
a
know-
question mark?
let's-
He's a
let's-
failure.
Let's talk.
Failure.
So was Jim Caldwell.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't?
No.
Wait, your words were 9-7 with no playoff win good enough.
I said making the playoffs at that point for the Detroit Lions is a step forward, and that's what I
it's
was
just-
looking
I
for.
No,
got
no,
the
hold on,
spin
hold on,
cycle
hold on,
on right now.
hold on,
I mean,
Sean.
those clothes are so dry right now.
This
it's
is
incredible.
also this also goes to now. Say 3 or 4 years from now, we're going to suck the next 2 years. Do you agree with that, Sean?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
All right.
absolutely. You're going to
All right.
suck.
Third year, where do you project us to be in 3 years?
You know
Say-
what?
say-
I
say
would,
we
I
go
would
10 and-
love, in a perfect world, I would love to be in happy Caldwell land in 3 years.
Wouldn't that be
Okay.
nice?
I would love,
Wouldn't it be
I would
nice
love
to
to
be
be
back
back
fourth,
there.
all right,
Caldwell land.
say the fourth year, they go 10-6 and make the playoff, but they lose the first game. Do we fire Campbell?
I don't think so, no.
But 4 years.
Failure.
That's 4 years.
But you know the first 2, he's going to be bad.
Would
I
you,
don't-
would,
you
Joy,
guys can't
Joy,
switch
Joy,
that
that's
argument.
a bad analogy. That's
no,
a
no,
bad
no.
analogy.
But
That's like saying what Caldwell took over is what the Lions are today. That's
No.
asinine.
No,
His
no, no,
best
no, no,
team
no,
is
no,
what
no, no,
Caldwell
no.
took over.
When
Your
listen,
best team-
it turned into
by your own
it turned
words.
into this.
Joy,
It turned into this.
I'm
He
going to
made
use
it
your
the best
words.
team.
They
He
turned
made
it into this.
Joy, your words.
He doesn't want to give the dude credit for anything, bro.
Joy,
I hear what you're
Anything.
saying, Sean. I hear what you're saying.
I'm just using your words. I'm
using your
You can
words.
point the finger at me. Was his best team his first year?
I understand this. Whenever you point a finger, you got 3 more pointing right back at you. Just so you know that.
That's
Just so
great.
you know
That's-
that. My mom
that's-
will.
Then you hit him with the gun.
That's great, and that's
Yeah.
3 more
It's-
playoff wins than Jim Caldwell had here. So that's and that's a beautiful thing. But
How
at
many
the
did Patricia
at
have?
the end,
How
none.
many wins did
You're
Patricia
right. They
have?
weren't good enough. Both of them. Hooray! We've got it settled. Isn't that awesome?
So we threw away
It
the best
took
coach
40
ever for the worst
Hold on,
coach
so
ever.
Threw away the
Great.
best
Hold on,
coach
hold
ever.
on, hold on,
Holy
Sean.
shit, I'm
Lions
done.
best
Hold on.
coach ever.
I'm done for
I got
the day.
Sam.
You just admitted he was one of the best in the Super Bowl
For
era
the
for the
Lions,
Lions.
and it wasn't good
Sammy
enough.
boy.
And it wasn't good enough.
I tell you,
Holy shit.
that boy. Boy.
You
Now,
know, this is
listen.
funny. I got to keep bringing this.
Hey, bring it
like
up, bring it
Ollie
up.
keeps bringing something up. I want to. I can't pull up the damn quote. But he keeps saying about the phantom call against Green Bay and things would have been different. And you know what I'm going to throw at you? If my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. All I can talk about is what happened. Yes, did they get robbed certain times? Absolutely. But I can't gaze into my crystal ball. If that call didn't happen, the Lions win the division and win a playoff game. I don't know that. You don't know that. So
Well,
let's stick with what we know. If we can both agree that the Lions got screwed, good. But we have to use this argument with what we know. What you want,
Sean?
What we don't know is stupid.
Sean, what do you want? Sean,
You know what I want?
No. What culture? Not other team. What do you want as a culture to be here in Detroit?
I want the Lions to be in a conversation 10 years from now where they are one of what I call in a parity league the usual suspects, where they
10 years. So we're gonna keep. He's gonna have the job for the next 10 years before we become. I'm asking.
Can I? Let me answer. I
thought you did. I'm sorry.
I didn't. I want 10 years from now. I want people to, when they're talking about the usual suspects, because the NFL is a parity league. There are the usual suspects. There's a group of teams that make the playoffs pretty much every year.
We used to be in that group.
Then there is the. No, actually, you weren't, but that's okay.
50% of the time, but
That's
whatever.
that's wonderful. 50% of the time is almost always. So
means nothing.
That's NFL.
And,
that's
at that point, it's
loser
cup half full,
but
half
that's
empty
all
right now. It's just whatever you.
That's all
whatever
right.
you decide. Half cup, half full.
Yeah, half full isn't full. So I'm talking about teams like the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore
Patriots do
Ravens.
this year?
Teams that make the playoffs year in, year out, that are part of the usual suspects. I don't want to be on the NFL elevator where 1 year I'm at 9 and then I'm at 7, but then we went to 11, but then we went back down. I want some playoff success. That's what I want.
And you get that by switching out coaches constantly.
Well, you know what? If something isn't working, I'm going to move on, and it wasn't working with Jim Caldwell.
We had consistent success.
It wasn't. If you call going to the playoffs twice and going 0-2 in the playoffs consistent success, I will say again, quit thinking like a Lion fan.
But I am a Lions fan.
Okay, so
what do
they
you
want
me to
more.
do?
Then I'm going to tell you to
not
want more.
Acknowledge their history?
Yeah, then no. See,
just pretend we weren't awful?
See, but here's I acknowledge their history. I say it all the time. The Lions are the worst franchise in my lifetime, but I want more. Sorry.
So do I.
Golly gee, we made
more.
the playoffs twice.
But you don't get that by
more, though?
constant
Question.
change.
More.
We're worried
More.
before Caldwell came in. We're worried.
You went to the playoffs in 11.
No. We're worried as a franchise. That's the elevator. That was the
You
elevator.
looked like you were going up.
That was the elevator.
You looked like you were going
looked-
up, and then it grew stagnant under Schwartz. There's no doubt about it. And then
It was
looked-
elevator. Elevator, right?
You're right. And then it looked like you were going up again with Caldwell, and then he went back down, and then he went back up, and then he went back down. And
No. He stayed at 9-7.
No,
That's
he didn't.
average.
He actually didn't.
He did 11-5,
11,
7-9.
7,
9 and 7,
9
9 and 7.
9. So he went down.
He went down and stayed consistent. He went down one time and then stayed consistent. And 9-7, 9-7. How's that going back down?
So did we?
His last 2 years.
Because his high water mark, you never matched that.
Different team.
Okay, so
Way better
So
roster.
then let's go
Not
around
way
in a
better,
circle.
but better roster.
Joik, is that good enough? Was that good enough for you?
No, that's not
Okay,
what we're
cool.
talking about. That's not what we're talking
That's
about
not what
here.
that is exactly what we're
that's not-
talking about. That is 100%. I couldn't be talking about that more.
Do you think that the Lions should have replaced Caldwell with a better proven coach, or are you okay with the buzz coach that?
No, you know what? It was time. It was time for Coach Caldwell to go.
Okay.
And you know what? You could have brought in. Let's say you brought in. Let's pick anybody. Let's say Bill Cowher. You talk Bill Cowher.
I just threw that out there because
Okay,
I love
all right,
Bill
all
Cowher.
right. So and I'm not trying to be swarmy when I say this. Bill Cowher could have come in here with the talent being what it was. How much success do you think Bill Cowher would have had? I'm not being funny.
I honestly
Because another thing that another thing we're all guilty of, if I may be honest, is we overrated the talent on this team. I agree with you, Joik. We overrated the talent. We as fans, and I think all of us.
You know what happened?
So you're right. Stick, if you bring Bill Cowher into the equation, I don't like to talk about it because I don't know. But since you brought it up, if you brought in Bill Cowher, how much success are the Lions with what they had at their disposal? Are the Lions a team that's going to make a jump from Coach Caldwell? I'm not so sure.
See, but
I got to be honest.
I think they have a better chance with a coach who has a proven record, who is established, than they do with a new coach. But go ahead.
Clarence, let me give you an example.
Joikis.
My best stick.
No, you're good, man.
Let's go back. We compare our Lions to other successful teams around the NFL. And we talked about Joe Lombardi coming here from the Saints. And then we bring a Bob Quinn here. The Patriot way.
Yes.
Brings it here, and they do the same. If you look at our roster, they do similar things to what the Patriots do. They get these guys to come in who you can put them in. You can put them in a position and you can make them successful because you believe in your scheme, not more so the player. They believe in their scheme. They believe in their scheme, not more so the player. You look at the Patriots. Look how they do things. And I've talked with players who play for the Patriots, and they've told me how the operation works there. You know, you can come here, we'll pay you. I know the market says you're worth $2 million, but we'll give you 1.2 here. But we'll go to the playoffs. We'll win you a Super Bowl. So we're not going to pay you what you're worth.
Right. But it'll be worth your sacrifice.
Yeah, but it'll be worth your sacrifice to come here, right? So they take players like this, they put them in a situation. We try to do the same thing here. It didn't work. I don't want other people culture here in Detroit. I want our own culture.
And I agree with, and listen, Bill Bentley chimed in. He said Caldwell isn't the problem. Bill, and I hope both of these guys would admit this. I never said Caldwell was the problem.
He's just not good enough.
He wasn't good enough. Argue with me.
So hold on. Wait.
I know, man. I know.
Wait. I know. Jim Caldwell wasn't the problem.
No.
But also not good enough.
No. He wasn't good enough. What was the problem then? Hold up. What was the problem, Sean?
Ooh.
You know what? I think you guys took a talent dive from 2014. I think you jumped way off when the motor of that defense up front, and Ndamukong Suh left, because the defense certainly was the strength of that team.
Is that the only person that left?
No, but hear me out. When Ndamukong Suh left, you took a talent dive, a massive talent dive, because he was an impact player. Ziggy Ansah couldn't stay healthy. You righted a wrong by bringing in a coordinator, a real coordinator. And by the way, let me also remind you, Jim Caldwell didn't want to make those changes. You know that better than anybody. I'm not going to make you talk. Jim Caldwell was told to make those changes. He didn't want to make those changes. I'm speaking fact here, okay? If we're gonna talk logically, let's remember the guy who single-handedly held the Lions' offense back was a guy by the name of Coach Lombardi. Okay, Jim Caldwell didn't want to get rid of Coach Lombardi. That's the truth. And if I'm lying, then Joik will yell at me. But Joik's not going to yell at me because he knows that's the truth. So at the end of the day, the talent dropped off, as we've established. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, in 2016, you had an opportunity. You started out 9-4. I thought that was a good team, as we discussed. You fell apart.
We have wide receiver Marcus Harris chiming in. Soup, what up, though? He said, this is coming from him. The coaches aren't on the field. They are the best at what they do. Let me bring my phone a little bit closer.
And we better say this about Matt Patricia then.
Yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Thank you.
Hold up. But never the coaches who truly know football. What up, though, Soup?
Sometimes and that's exactly it. It didn't work, and that's okay. So you know what? You try to move on because
with different players.
Me, I don't want to be. I don't want to ever celebrate 9-7.
Listen,
ever. Unless you win a Super Bowl like Maz's Giants did.
Listen,
then I'll literally have a party, a 9-7 party, and you guys are all.
I would go 9. I would go
on me.
I would go 7-9 every year and win a Super Bowl and be happy.
If you can win the
because right now it's not about winning seasons. It's not even about playoff wins. It's about the Super Bowl. But you need mostly all of this in order to get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Everything is a step by step.
What was it in Jim Caldwell's era that made you think that he could take the next step?
Oh, he was clearly he was the best coach.
You asked the question. Can I answer it?
Yeah.
All right. When he comes in, grabs a team, almost identical team, that just went 7-9. Identical team, 7-9. then takes us to 11-5 in the playoff berth. That's heading in the right direction. And then the following year, you have a huge drop off in your talent, a huge drop off.
And you're still competitive,
right? And we're still competing. Like we're still competing. Like we went 7-9, but we're still competing.
That's a good coach
for half of the season.
It don't matter.
You guys got your ass kicked in the first half of the season.
I mean, how micro are we going to make this? Well, the first quarter of one game. We can keep trimming this down.
You know what it is?
We're going total record.
You know, the Chiefs win the game.
Competitive. I didn't say
Chiefs win the game.
And I'm going to point out
by 2 or 3 points. In the regular season, they go and win the Super Bowl. Are we sitting here saying, well, they barely won that game by 2 or 3 points? No,
I mean they did beat the Bucs in the regular season.
Drake, you said competitive, and I'm sorry. The first half of the season was a debacle. Your general manager got fired. The president of the team
and then
got
what happened
fired,
after that?
And they made the coach fire guys that he didn't want.
And then what happened after that?
You guys went 6-2 and finished 7-9. So
all
is
right
that
so you can't acknowledge one half and not acknowledge the other.
Okay, but that's not the definition of consistent.
No.
We're going to talk about I'm telling you, use the words.
I'm saying we both sitting here saying that Caldwell wasn't the problem. We're saying that Caldwell wasn't the problem. He wasn't the issue. You say he wasn't good enough.
I'm not going to argue over consistency.
We got rid of the people that weren't good enough.
But go ahead.
We got rid of the problem, is what I'm saying. Let's be consistent then. The problem the question I asked is, what was the problem? When we got rid of those problems in 15, then what happened? 6-2, and in one of those games, we got what happened? One of those games against Green Bay, the ghost face mask.
It was garbage.
Garbage.
It was, we've already
lose that game on a Hail Mary.
It was garbage.
Give it to him.
It was garbage. No doubt about it.
Give it to him.
Established.
That game trickles into the following week against the Rams. We lose a close one there. We pull it together and we went out. That 6-2 could have easily been 8-0. Easily. But we're not talking about what, if coulda, wouldas.
Thank you.
We're not talking about
I'm glad you caught yourself because I was going to bring up my aunt's dick again.
Yeah, but the thing I'm telling you is that when we got rid of the problem, what happened in the season? And then after that happens, we bring in Bob Quinn, we make changes on the personnel.
Mm-hmm. And you started out 9-4.
Yeah, we started 9-4, but we're not talking about how did we finish?
Yeah, you're right.
How did we finish? We're not talking about how we started off.
Good enough.
Because if you want to talk about it, we started off that 15 season 1-7 and finished 6-2. But you're only going to talk about 1-7, and then 16 we're going to talk about 9-4.
That's not true.
Okay,
you know what I can tell you? I can tell you all along it wasn't. You used the word consistent. There's nothing consistent about that. There isn't. And you guys weren't competitive the first half of the season. That's why I'm saying if you're going to use those words, I have to point out to you, you weren't competitive.
So then were they dominant the second half?
No, but you weren't good enough. Is 7-9?
We one game.
They were 7-9. Right. That's what we're talking. We're talking about a 7-9 football team.
7-9 football team.
Here we
He
go.
went 7-9 one time out of 4 years.
And you went 9-7. And you went 9-7. And you admitted. I'm going to say it to you again.
It's not good enough if you don't win playoff games. Okay.
So it was time to move on.
That's not what I said. But that is what I said about not being good enough to win playoff games. Right. But we also said, you said that Caldwell wasn't the problem. He just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So what was the problem? Was it the personnel?
Part of it, yes.
What was the other part?
Jim Caldwell.
You just say he wasn't the problem, Sean.
Whoa, the goalposts are talking
it really isn't over here. Adam, I'm glad that you're looking at me.
Let's push this goalpost to Greenland now.
No, that's not.
Let's push it over to Greenland.
Yeah.
This is what happens when guys are getting destroyed in an argument. They say dumb things like that. Jim Caldwell was part of the problem. You can't tell me that he wasn't.
You just said he wasn't the problem, though.
Okay, I asked you.
Part and the are two different things. Is it really that difficult? Is it really? No, come on. I'm being serious.
Just stick with what you say.
I did. Okay. Stick. I did. Jim Caldwell wasn't the problem. I'm going to say that is clear and Hi.
He wasn't the problem. Or he wasn't the whole problem.
Jim Caldwell wasn't the whole problem. The problem.
No, he wasn't the whole problem.
Jim Caldwell was part of the problem. What?
It's
how
two
is that
different
moving
things.
the goalposts? Those are two entirely different things.
Rephrase that then. It should be Jim Caldwell wasn't the whole problem.
He wasn't.
Okay. Right.
I never said that.
You say he wasn't the problem.
He wasn't the problem.
But now he's part of the problem.
He was part of the problem.
Let's say he's part of the problem. Now
I get what you're saying. Like, you're committing him to the full problem by saying Jim Caldwell was the problem.
1,000%.
But then you're also saying, but he wasn't the full problem.
He was not the full
So
problem.
he
Not
couldn't
at all.
be the problem. He was part of
He was part of the problem. He wasn't good enough as a head coach.
The semantics.
He wasn't. He wasn't good enough as a head coach. Period. I mean, do you want me to count the ways? Do you want me to count 9 men on the field? Do you want me to count the?
How many times does that happen?
You can do that to any coach.
Any coach.
9 men on the field.
12 men.
Find
12 men
another
on the
coach
field.
that had 9
12
men on the
men
field.
on the field.
Find another man that had 9, not 12, not 10, 9.
It's the same 5-yard penalty either
It
way.
don't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still a 5-yard penalty. Like,
Wait a second.
It's like, what's the bigger sin?
I'm being serious. You don't think that's a problem?
I think they're both a problem. 12 men on the field is a lack of attention to detail. 9 men on the field. 10 men on the field. Unless you have 11, it's all wrong. Can you admit that? I mean, does it matter if there's 15, 20?
that doesn't matter, bro.
That
doesn't matter.
It's all wrong.
He didn't deal well with the clock. He had to have a little guy hold his timer for him and everything. Jim Caldwell got overwhelmed on the sidelines, period. He did.
As a head coach, you have a lot of stuff that's going on in the game. You're talking to people in the booth.
You're
You're
right.
watching the play.
And he
see
got
what type
overwhelmed.
You're looking at
I'm glad
personnel. You're looking at the
you're
other
right.
team personnel. You're
right.
looking at this. Of course, you're going to have.
Keep going.
You know, it's
No,
funny.
tell me more, because you're
funny?
right. You're supporting everything that I'm saying, yes.
You know, the Super Bowl coach has a guy that pulls him. Hold up,
The get back
McVay,
coach.
the get back coach.
Yeah.
He can't stay back behind the line because he
McVay's
went to
won
the Super
playoff
Bowl.
games.
Hey, but he went to the Super Bowl though.
Yeah.
Right. But he needs a guy to pull him back to stay behind a white line that's right there. Right?
That is one of the best
Is that-
positions in the NFL.
Hey, you know the get
Keep
back.
going. No, I mean,
hey,
tell me more.
You know who the get
You're
back guy
helping me
is
out.
too?
Tell me
Oh,
more.
yeah.
You know the get back guy? Our old coach here from the Lions? Huh?
Who's our
Ted.
Who?
He was our weight room coach.
Timex, the watch that his helper would keep to help him deal time.
No,
Is that
Ted.
who you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Ted. I'm
Watch?
talking about No.
What's the name of the kind of watches you wear?
Shinola.
Shinola?
Yeah.
Shinola was next to Caldwell?
No.
while he was making it to the
It's
playoffs.
Shinola. You don't know shit from Shinola. That's the same. That's the same.
That's a good spot to take a break.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. We'll be back here with the Baligian the Bill show. Sean Baligian, Stick, Joy Bell here. Catch you guys in a few.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Got a slot.
That is fascinating. Scott said, I cannot believe the amount of time that has been spent on a coach that can't get a job elsewhere. I guess other teams don't see his genius. Maybe that's it.
You know he took a break for his health because he left here and where did he go?
Well, he didn't he say a few months ago he wanted to coach? And he was interested in interviewing for some jobs and
Yeah,
everything?
he went to Houston for an interview. Teams was reaching out to him on the college level as well. Let's see what happens.
So, in other words, a guy that doesn't have job offers.
Let's reset. Let's reset. I feel like there's some tension.
I'm so tired of this. You know what's going to happen? Here, mark my words. You ready? I'm going to gaze in my magical crystal ball that so many of you use. I am right now. Here, bring that to me, Fish. That's all right. Fish, come on here. There's Fish. He's bringing me water. Thank you, Fish.
Yeah.
I'm going to gaze in my magical crystal ball right now. So many of you guys, so many of these arguments are based on that which we can't see. I can only deal with that which we see. But this one time only, I am going to gaze into my crystal ball. Are you ready, Joik?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Really? In 5 years, boy, I sound like Governor What's-Her-Nuts. And in 5 years, you're going to be blown away. In 5 years, Joik, Granholm, was that her name? I don't remember. And in 5 years. Hold on. I gazed in my crystal ball. Guess what I saw?
What'd you say?
I saw 2 playoff wins. 5 years from now, I saw 2 playoff wins.
Hey, make sure you mark this, Art, before we can post this. And 5 years from now, we're going to post it to this day. All right.
5 years. I saw 2 playoff wins.
Hold up. In one season or total?
Why do you have to ask me to gaze into the crystal ball? It hurts my eyes. It's murky. I can't tell if it's going to be in the same season or it's going to be overall. So here's my point. Here's my point behind doing that. Here's my point behind doing that. Will we look back differently at the Caldwell era if that happens? Because it raised the bar for the Lions, and we should look back differently at the Caldwell era. If that happens,
that goes out the window.
Would you agree with me?
That goes out the window. That goes out the window. I will agree with you.
I wish I could tell you that they were going to be in the same season. I would love a trip to the Super Bowl.
Oh, you must be one of those scammers. Those call me at 2 a.m. Hey, what's your name, Sean? What's your last name?
What you guys don't know on the weekend is what we do is Joik and I, we travel around, and I have a magic bottle of potion. And I have like this scrawny guy, and I go, "You young man in the crowd, I want you to come up here." And I give this scrawny guy a drink of Uncle Sean's potion, right? And I go, "Now I want you to go in the back room and lift some weights for me." And so he walks behind the curtain, and when he walks out, Joik comes walking out. And I go, "Come one, come all, it's Uncle Sean's Be a Superhuman potion." That's what Joik and I, we've made so much money off of that. Selling that stuff. It's great.
You know,
it's beautiful.
Now that's is when Sean he did the silhouette challenge, and he's like putting barbecue sauce on him and it's dripping into the juice and all that. That's actually when I got up in love. I can't. It's too much for me. You got Bill on here. What up, Bill?
You know what? It like all jokes aside.
Hold up. Here goes Scott. Is Joik just hurt because this is his coach? Maybe he's too close to the situation.
You were honest.
I was being very honest.
You were honest. You said it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I was honest. But not as a head coach, as a team. You can't put it all on him. We weren't good as a team. Yeah, we didn't make enough.
I want more.
I think we could have.
I hope in 5 years, if my magic conch is correct, I hope in 5 years we look back on the Caldwell era, as we all should look back on the Caldwell era, and not talk about what should have been, but talk about what was. And it wasn't good enough. And that's okay. And it's time. If something isn't good enough, it's time to move on. Joik, you know what? Chad Johnson's our boss. I love Chad. Seriously, I do. I love Chad. Chad's crazy as the day is long, but I love Chad. If Chad tells me a month from now, "Hey, man, I've been watching the show. I don't think you guys are good enough." Well, Chad, just give me another month, man. Give me another. You got to make a move. If something's not good enough, you make a move, right? Yeah. And you know what? The guy that they bring in might be worse than me. I don't know how he could do that, but he might be worse than me. And you know what? Does that mean, well, we made a change, we shouldn't try again? No, you keep trying. You keep trying until you get it right. Right? You keep trying until you get it right. Look, people thought the Browns were nuts last year when they fired their coach. What the are you doing? What are you doing? You guys are finally trending in the right direction. You got rid of your coach, right? You bring in Stefanski, and look what they did this past year. Sorry. No, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if something isn't working, it isn't working.
All right, so question. Yeah. Let's move forward. With Campbell as the new head coach, how do you feel the progress we're making? You see, they just made it official with.
They're going to suck this year.
They're going to suck.
I hope everybody just.
Well, 5 years
I know
from now,
Larry said we're making the playoffs this year. Don't care what no one says. Mark it. Listen, Larry. I hope you're right. Really, I truly do. I hope that we're 3 years ahead of the curve, and I'll be the first guy to say, Larry, on February 18th or whatever, dude, I laughed at you, I mocked you. You're right, I'm wrong. And if anybody's ever followed me I'll be the first guy to tell you if I'm wrong about something, okay? I honestly, I will. I think there's an epidemic in our business where guys can't say I was wrong. I'm not one of those guys. I think anybody that has ever worked with me will also acknowledge that. But let me also add this, okay? The Lions' moves, in their own words, are even saying 2 or 3 years from now.
Their own what?
Their own words. I mean, when guys are talking about, we'll see what we have in 2 or 3 years from now, I mean, They're rebuilding, and it's okay.
It's
It's
definitely
fine.
rebuilding.
To me, it's absolutely fine. And in the NFL today, Joik, you know it. You can really suck. You can really suck and still be 5-11 in the National Football League today. Okay? Now the difference is, and Stafford talked about this. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's good. Really good quarterback.
Matthew Stafford basically willed this team to 5 wins this year.
So you have a terrible quarterback, you have a bad quarterback, you have a okay quarterback, you have a good quarterback, you have a really good quarterback, and you have a great quarterback.
Yes.
I'll put Stafford in a really good quarterback.
Okay. I put Goff. I put Goff in serviceable. I think Jared Goff is serviceable. I do.
Yeah, so
I think
he's good.
He's serviceable.
So he's okay. He's an okay quarterback.
Yeah, he's okay. He's
okay.
He's
all right.
There's some people around here that disagree with me. Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
He's straight. He's straight then. Okay.
I don't want him to be my franchise quarterback when the team's ready to win in 2 years.
He's a franchise quarterback, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I don't think, and I know Lion fans, the last thing that Lion fans want to hear is be patient. We've been patient our whole life. Nobody wants to be patient. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants. The Lion fan base is going to have to be patient with these guys in the next 2 years.
There's going to be facts.
Because they're going to be crappy, and it's crappy by design.
Yeah.
And now this is where another thing that Lion fans don't like to do, you have to give your trust to Mr. Holmes.
I'm going to tell you what we can. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what we can judge.
All right.
Regardless of the team, one thing we can judge is the play calling, the way he manages the game. We can judge that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when this team does get good, we get a better roster, we get more players in.
Yes.
What are they doing?
Yes.
How are they putting these players in position?
All right, I'm sorry to go back to the last thing. You weren't there in 2017, but do you know what drove me nuts and was kind of the final nail in the coffin for me and Jim Caldwell?
What really grinds your gears?
What really grinds my gears? The slow starts that team consistently had in 2017 made me pull hair out of my head. Like, why? I understand if it happens once, but when it happened multiple times, that was like, all right, are you ill prepared? What's going on here? And then all of a sudden Stafford has to go full on, Stafford and flinging the ball all over the place to come back and everything. I got the feeling, and I can't say this is definitively right, but I got the feeling that they were ill prepared in 2017. When you come out of the hole to start of the game, remember that, Maz? They had so many bad starts in 2017. That's an indictment on coaching, in my opinion. I don't know that for sure because you're in the locker room, you're living it, but you weren't in that locker room. But when you do that, it's like, all right, why are you constantly getting down 10-0, 14-0? The offense sputters the first couple drives and then all of a sudden figures itself out. It just happened. It seemed like it happened on a game-by-game basis, and that was really disheartening to me. Did you like how I said disheartening there?
It was disheartening.
No, but do you agree with me? And listen, I'm not being a hater. Larry, I hope you're right. I would love if the Lions are way ahead of the curve and find a way to get in the playoff and everything, but they're doing this by design, and I like it. Load up on talented players.
In the draft.
Keep getting as many draft picks as you can, man. It's just...
And then in 2 to 3 years, we'll see what happens in free agency. Because we still got that hit with Stafford. We still have that hit. Is that next year?
Right off the I wish I had it right on top of me.
I think it might be next year when we have that hit. Am I right, Art?
Yeah, right off the top of my head. Yeah. Kevin said, I hope we go 2-14 and get the number 1 pick. They're not going to win a lot of games. I think in the NFL, a team should win 5 games on accident. And that's the problem. There's no guarantee in the National Football League.
That's the any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree with that, don't you?
Yeah. We've lost to teams that we had no business losing to. And that's one thing that really plagued the Lions. We'll play really well against a Kansas City, right? And then play horrible against a Panthers team. And that's one thing that I always hated about when I play here. I don't know what it was that we'll play at this high caliber. We'll play to the talent level of our competitors. And that's one part of the culture that I want to get rid of. I hate that part.
Yeah.
I hate that.
No, I couldn't agree with you more.
We play to the talent level of our, and and then you look up, and then we're competing.
I'm not
against
trying
Kansas
to
City.
pick at you when I say this, okay?
Yeah.
Is that coaching? What is that? How would you?
It's culture. It's culture. You remember how tradition?
Yeah.
And sometimes it can just kind of, you need to go to that Lions facility and just light some sage around the whole building and get those evil spirits out of there. That negative energy
Joint
out
knows
of
a
there.
guy down in New Orleans, one of those voodoo doctors to come in there and get rid of it.
I don't do voodoo.
No, neither with me, man. I don't try.
Get some sage.
Amen to that.
Get that negative energy out of there because it has really plagued us here.
Larry said, question, how long do you think these coaches will stay around for a rebuild and they all want to be head coaches? You know what's interesting? That's a great question.
Who's going to get a head coaching job right now?
Do you know what is awesome?
2 losing seasons.
But do you know what is awesome to me? To put together this coaching staff. Coaches aren't dumb. They know what the Lions are going to be this year, okay?
It's a great opportunity for them.
To be able to put together this coaching staff walking into a team that you know will suck, that's awesome. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, that's something, wow. Because some of these guys know they're walking into a disaster.
They know it.
Right? And that's awesome. By the way, I need to say this. Whether you liked his opinions, and a vast majority of people did not, or not, he was a guy in our business, the broadcasting business, that was a giant. Rush Limbaugh passed away. He had been sick for a long time. I know what people think about Rush Limbaugh personally. I think of a human being, and I think of a guy that was a giant in the broadcasting business. But Rush Limbaugh, it hadn't been good, and he had cancer, and it was late stages. But Rush Limbaugh passed away, so wanted to throw that out there. What's that?
Wasn't he Monday Night Football?
Yeah, he was. Boy, was that a disaster. Oh yeah. Do you remember that? Or no, it was the ESPN show, right? He was on the ESPN show. Yeah, he was on that ESPN show. Remember? And he got in trouble for his comments about McNabb. The NFL is desirous for a black quarterback to be successful. Yeah, he had some whacked out opinions. There's no doubt about that, okay? But as a human being and as a broadcasting icon, whether you liked him or not, the guy made $1 billion industry. So he passed away.
Damn.
So wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
The late great.
Terry said the Bobby Lane curse is real. I don't believe in curses.
No.
We joke about it. Okay, do you know what I believe in? Mismanagement. The Lions have been a horribly mismanaged franchise my entire lifetime. My entire lifetime.
A lot of people's lifetimes.
Yeah. It is, I mean...
But
from
are they not heading in the right direction now?
I want to believe that they are. And you know what?
And you think the choices that they made in the past has been, this guy's not the right fit? Don't you think every guy that they brought in has been a guy that they thought had the capability of taking us to that next level? To be one of those.
All right. So was Matt Patricia my first choice? No. The guy down in Tennessee was. What did I love Bob Quinn? I've openly admitted to. I loved Bob Quinn. I openly admit it.
I like them both as men.
Yep.
All right,
I love Bob Quinn.
My conversations with them were short, but I had a few conversations with both the guys, and as men, I enjoyed our conversation. It wasn't bad.
Bob Quinn's vision for this team was what I liked because he spoke to my heart. And he talked about building through the draft and getting value in the draft. His follow-through was awful. So sometimes you can have the right idea, and your follow-through is awful, right? It doesn't mean that it's a bad idea and you throw it out.
It's like this. I want to go out there. I want to win football games, but, my preparation for the week wasn't that good, I didn't hit the weight room too hard this offseason. No, I didn't do too much conditioning this offseason. But, hey, this is what I want to do.
Oh, you put together a good game plan. It's a good game plan. We just didn't execute, right? Like I liked what we did. I thought that we put together the recipe to knock off the Green Bay Packers. Okay.
My question to you.
It didn't happen.
My question to you. The roster that we had in 14, even in 14, right? In 2017. You think if we had that type of roster, and this is just me, asking you to look into your crystal ball and tell me what you see. if we had that same team in 2014, 4 years later in 2017, with the same coaching staff, same players, do you think we make a run in the playoffs? Do you think we have an opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl?
I see a playoff win. I see a playoff win.
Just one? Yeah. Even with Jim Bob Cooter?
Okay, two.
Even with Jim Bob Cooter coming in as the OC?
If you guys would have been able to keep that, well, you know that you just spoke to my heart. I wish we could go back in time and we could take your offense from 2016, okay, the 2016 Lions that found a way late in so many games, take that offense and pair it with that defense in 2014. And I think you got a legitimate shot at making some noise in the playoffs. I can't prove that. I don't like talking about things that.
I know you don't. But
just one man's opinion. The 2016 offense, okay, and the 2014 defense, and mind you, this is an offense without Calvin Johnson too, okay. But you take those two components, you guys beat the Cowboys. No doubt in my mind. With your offense in 2016 that you were part of, no doubt in my mind you win that game.
Yeah.
In 2014, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. That offense was a lot better than the 2014 offense.
And then
you had a moron holding you back. Let's be honest. I know you're not going to say that.
And then they go and who do they play? Off that bad call.
Green Bay.
And how did they lose?
I would have listened to me.
And how did they lose?
On a bad call.
What call was that?
The Calvin catch.
The Calvin Johnson rule.
Yeah.
Right. The irony. Hey.
Somebody said to me, Sean's hair looks like a hot mess today. Yeah. I'm telling Chad I need a haircut. That's what, Chad, I need a haircut. You see that? That's my way of saying, Chad, give me a haircut. I always sport the Woodward Sports hat, so buy these, all right? But when I do this, that means, Chad, I need a haircut when the show's over, all right? Do I look like the Heat Miser right now?
They take care of you. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Is it at least to take care of you out there?
No, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. We have to take a quick break. We have the smoke show coming up. Lots of stuff to get into today.
A lot of stuff.
That was a fun conversation that we had.
It was a great conversation.
That was fun.
It was a much-needed conversation. Much needed.
Hey, have I told you guys about my bookie? No matter the sport or season, you can always win big now. I'm talking nonstop action, 365 days a year. Choose from thousands of lines on the NBA, NHL, UFC, and more. Winning never ends when you play at MyBookie. They truly have something for everyone, and absolutely nobody does prop bets like MyBookie. You can get action in on everything from celebrity divorce to the winner of the All-Valley Karate Tournament. Yeah, you can really bet on that. March Madness right around the corner, so start building your bankroll now. Do yourself a favor. You got to do this first. Get the head start. Sign up today with promo code Woodward and get your first deposit match halfway up to $1,000. That is free cash credited to your account instantly on top of your deposit. The best part is you always have access to the action, whether you're at home or on the go. Visit mybookie.ag today, but you got to use promo code Woodward to grab yourself a deposit bonus. Bet, win, and get paid at MyBookie. Joik Bell, Sean Baligian, Woodward Sports. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Steve said, Sean, do you want the art cut? No, I kind of like the Heat Miser cut, right? With the salt and pepper. Hey, listen, at my age, I'm just glad I got hair up top, okay? Sorry, boys. Yeah, both Tom and Mike just gave me dirty looks. I'm just glad I got hair up top. I don't care about the salt and pepper. Joik, do you care about any of that?
No.
Just as a man? Like, I couldn't care less if I went bald. I don't care that I'm gray.
Bald or salt and pepper?
Either way, I don't care.
No, I can't go bald.
Really? Does that bug you, really?
My locks? No, I need my locks.
So if it starts to recede on top, does that bother you?
Huh?
Would that bother you if you did the?
If I had the Batman, the Batman. He got the Batman. No.
Would that bother you?
Yes, that would bother me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not conscious about stuff like that.
I need to go find LeBron's doctor if that was to happen.
This is real. This got so salty.
Steve said Drake loves his hair. You know it.
This got so salty in the past year. Like this side right here. It's amazing how much salt just appeared on the side, and it's like, my wife.
But women they like a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, my wife asked me. She goes, "Does it bother you?" I go, "Absolutely not. Why? I don't care. I don't.
You don't care. I don't want no salt and pepper.
Really?
I wouldn't mind it though. I wouldn't mind it.
You'd look good.
A little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
A little wisdom.
Yeah. You know what? I like Ricky Williams. Stud running back. I saw Ricky had a strong salt and pepper beard going on. Not quite the Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith had a pretty strong one back in the day. But now his is pretty much all white. But, yeah, dude, you look good with it.
Oh, man. I'll cut it off.
Really?
I'll cut it off.
Ah, dude.
I'll cut it off.
Yeah, it was. I did have the heat miser thing going on. My blood pressure went up like heat miser today.
Went up.
Are you kidding me? All right, so what do you think about this? It's reported that the Bears have pushed harder for Carson Wentz to the Bears.
What was the offer?
It doesn't say.
A 6th-round pick?
Evidently, they are making more of a push for Wentz than the Colts are.
Art picked up on that.
What did I miss?
You said they pushed
because
hard
he said
for
a
him. I said what they offer, a 6th-round pick.
Oh boy! All right. So this is what it comes like. Seriously, if you're Chicago, you're going, well, we tried Foles, a Philly cast-off, that didn't work. Let's try Carson Wentz. What do you think about Carson Wentz?
Lost a step.
There, no doubt about it. He was an MVP.
Why are they bringing him in? Like, they're bringing him in to be like their franchise quarterback, and he's gonna lead us to.
Trubisky, isn't it?
I understand that, but you go out and you get Wentz.
I couldn't agree with you more. Is he an upgrade from Trubisky?
Yeah, he is.
I think so. It is amazing though, Joik. I mean, when you think about
it, played 5 years, and 5 years he's threw for 16,000 energy yards in 5 years.
You know what the thing was with Wentz? I'm going to say it again. I go back and look at the type of season he was having the year they won. He was going to be the MVP of the league, and he blew his knee out, and that is a guy that just has not been the same since then. He is just, there's no other way to say it. Now, some guys bounce back. It was funny. I had a conversation. I told you when I was a kid, I loved Billy Sims. I had a conversation with Billy about this.
That was,
okay?
18?
What's that?
That was 18?
When did he do it?
When the Eagles went?
Yeah, I think it was it 18 or 17? Whatever.
Yeah.
But Billy Sims blew out his knee. Joik, it was the end of his career. I mean, he was done. Well, and I said to Billy, I said, hey, Billy, I'm not trying to like piss you off or anything. He goes, but does it, do you think about that often? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's amazing. 10, 15 years later, my injuries, ho-hum, we'll go and do surgery. You'll be back in 6 months. I mean, really, that's the reality. What happened to the guy? I mean, but back in 1984, it's the end of your career. You're done, because the medical advancements.
Right.
As you well know, some knee injuries are just different. And Carson Wentz just has not bounced back. I mean, there's no other way. He's not the same quarterback.
Is it that he doesn't have the capability or the athleticism, or do you think it's more so of a mental thing of, well,
great question.
And that's kind of what it boils down to.
That's a great question.
That's what it is. It's more so mental. And that's why we sit back and we talk about football players, and we talk about how physical the game is compared to what it used to be. But even then, the game then and now is still more of a mental game. Playing through injuries, playing through separated shoulders, playing guys who play with a broken leg, with the Bees who play with a broken leg through the playoffs. It's all mental, right? And I follow this page on Instagram. It's a nature page just about the wilderness and how animals, their pain tolerance is it's crazy. Like you can see a zebra walking out with just surviving a lion attack, and he might have a liver
giant chunk out of him or whatever,
and just walking casually, just like just walking around. And I'm not comparing football players to the jungle, but we compare it to it's a jungle out there, right? It's a jungle, and one part of the game is the nature of the beast, which you're going to have some injury, 100%. That's 100% chance. The way that we're able to manage that is being mental. Is Wentz mentally strong enough to be able to play through that, and is that holding him back? Is he doing the same thing he was doing when he was with the Eagles? I mean.
You bring up such a good point, though, because, and I think maybe even people like us can relate to this. Joik, up until I would say last summer it stopped. I would have phantom pains in my leg. Like I was afraid to do things. It was mental. And it was funny because I told my doctor, and my doctor said, you got to get over that. He was like, your knee is structurally sound. He said there are things like I can't put pressure on the side of my leg because I have nerve damage from the injury. Right. He said as long as you're not banging your leg up against a wall or something, he was like, your knee is structurally sound. But here's the thing, okay? Try telling that to a guy. I went for a run like last April, and I felt this twinge, and I was like, I'm done. That's it. I don't want to. I'm not going through that again. That was a year of my life that sucked. I'm not lying.
Have you ever heard the saying that your body your mind will give up before your body will?
Yes.
That's what it is. Going through all the rehab, everything you did to get back, and then you get back, and not saying here's the case, but you have a lot of guys who get back and they still don't trust it. They either don't trust it because it hurts, or they don't think they're capable, or they don't trust it to a point to where they think they're going to get hurt again if they go out there and give that same 100% effort that they were given before when they hurt it the first time.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of things that are a freak accident. Like what happened to Dak, that doesn't really happen. What happened to Alex Smith, that doesn't really happen. And so it's more so mental.
It's funny. Kevin said Wentz lost confidence in Philly 1,000%. And what I have to wonder is, did he lose confidence in what was around him? Did he lose confidence in the structural stability of his knee? Did he lose confidence in himself? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if a change of scenery is going to be the answer to what plagues him right now, because he has not looked like the same. He was having a monster year. No. I mean, he really was. Wasn't it like 35 touchdowns and 6 interceptions? I mean, he's having a monster year. And it's still crazy they went and won the Super Bowl with Foles, but that's a story for a different day. But he hasn't been able to get it back to it.
He stepped in and he made some stuff happen. He definitely did. He stepped in, he made some stuff happen.
Now, so what are the Colts going to do? Because, the quarterback carousel, and this is where people are like, well, maybe you could flip Goff. I mean, if you get rid of Jared Goff, you are really going to suck. I mean, you're not going to be good with Jared Goff, okay? But I'm going to say it again. I think he's a serviceable starter in this league. You are really going to suck if you go with somebody else.
That's going to be a strategic. That'll be a strategic move to get a guy to come in and suck. Well, that's not going to be that good. And now you definitely might have the first. You might have the first overall pick in the draft the following year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Like when Stafford went out the second half of last year in 2019, you weren't winning any games with those losers. Seriously, I mean, I'm not being funny. You're not any one of those guys. You're not winning a damn game with any of those guys. Jenna wanted to know, is it still What Up Doe Wednesday? Yes.
No, we said it at the beginning.
He probably did.
I did. I said it's What Up Doe Wednesday. We didn't tell you guys what Up Doe Wednesdays, what it means. But
can you do that?
Yeah. It basically, What Up Doe Wednesdays is something I thought of one night. I reached out to Sean, and Sean loved the idea that we take What Up Doe Wednesdays. We talk about small businesses surrounding the Detroit, the Detroit metro area. So anywhere from Romulus to downtown Detroit to Warrior Oak to Ferndale. What we do is we bring a person on, or we talk about their business to try to help them out in their time of need during this pandemic. Just get them out there more, right? And so I came up with the idea because I have a lot of people that own small businesses that I love to support. And so they agree with it, talk with them, and if you guys have small businesses, reach out to either you can reach out to my DM on Instagram. You can reach out to the Woodward Sports Network, Facebook or Instagram, and let us know what you're doing.
Jenna, bring it up.
Support.
For sure. Jenna, bring it up. Whatever, I know Jenna said she wanted to give a shout out, so by all means, give a shout out. No doubt about it.
We just give a shout out. It might even be a time where we might go there and we might go to some of these small businesses down the line and might do a show there.
I'd love to do something like that.
It's something dope. We can talk to them, talk sports, talk about their business, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
As Steve said, Chase Daniel would make you 0-16. Yeah, I mean those their backups. Now look at last year.
Chase to give you a couple wins. Chase to get you one or two wins. He'll get you 1 or 2.
How about the guys they had last year? Remember the trifecta of Terra? It was just you weren't winning any games. It was the trifecta. Which loser is going to stink it up today? And that's what happened, and that's how they ended up with Akuda. Hurts is up next. I like Jalen Hurts. Damn it! Anybody that watched our draft show last year, why wouldn't you take a flyer on a guy like that in the 3rd round? I don't. Jalen Hurts won. I mean He was good enough to get recruited to Alabama. He's good enough to get eventually end up at Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts won. You know what that goes back to? It goes back to like the Lamar Jackson conversation that you and I had early on. It's like I think guys overthink it. I really do. Lamar Jackson's a flippin' stud, man.
Yes.
You have guys saying, "I'm not sure he's a quarterback in the National Football League." Based on what?
Because he's fast, he likes to run, he can use his leg, but he can throw as well.
Absolutely,
he can throw the ball.
Like, watch, these brainiacs.
You know what it is though?
What?
It's not what they're used to, and people that's in this game, in this industry, they don't like change, right? Until one guy comes in, they force change, and now you look, Lamar's changing the game. Lamar is changing the game.
Do you know how stupid it is? Like I'm not.
Pat Mahomes changing the game.
Can I? And Pat, remember when the Chiefs were crazy for drafting Patrick Mahomes that high too? That was a real conversation. We can pretend it wasn't.
Hey, everything's crazy until it works.
You know what I hate about this, and this goes back to your boy Portnoy, right? It's like if you want to be so absent-minded and closed-minded to think that there aren't guys that can go and for whatever reason ended up in D2. Well, you're the one that's losing out. And I'll tell you what, 30 years ago, you know what it was? It was
fucking
Matt
idiot.
Conference.
He's
you remember?
Idiot, bro.
Yeah, he's a Matt guy.
He's an idiot.
Maz, we grew up, Mike, we grew up in an era, a little bit before your time, like being in the MAC was like, yeah, but he's a Matt guy. What? Yeah, you can't be talented in the MAC, I guess, right? You can't. No, Ben Roethlisberger? No, you can't. You can't be talented in the MAC. It drives me out of my. You just sounded like Summerall. Pennington.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Boss. Touchdown. I said that too much at Toledo. Trust me, I really did. What grinds your gears?
No, that's for you.
Oh, did I swear? Steve said I swear. Did I?
You gotta put some in the jar.
Gun.
Put some in the jar.
I owe a lot
Can
of
we
money
make it the
now.
art fund?
Do you want the art fund? Can I donate to the art
to
fund?
pay me for your social media.
Hi, I'm Sean Baligian, and I'm here to talk about something very serious today. It's called the Art Fund. Did you know that Art has 331 children? You can help support Art today. I'm behind that. Art, where do I donate? Are you kidding me? You're my boy. You know that.
Every time it goes into the swear jar, it should go to Art's gas fund because he lives a mile ways away and it's everyone else's fault.
Hey, listen. No one told you to put in an application to work here. You could have stayed in Flint and worked up there. You didn't have to drive.
And you're
down.
so happy I'm here.
You guys.
You know what though? You know what though?
You guys are buds.
Listen.
Don't talk about last night.
Listen. I go on Call of Duty last night. I said, I need to relieve some stress. Let me go in here and kill some people in the game.
Let me go out here kill some people.
And speaking of kill people, the first name I see when I go in there is Art. So I said, okay, let me add Art on my team. So I add Art on my team. See
how excited he was right there?
You guys were teammates?
I put him. I add him the first time. You know what he did? He didn't come. He didn't accept my invite. I said, cool. And I wanted to record it. And so I played the game, then I invited him again, and I was recording it. I was like, you see how I'm saying, listen, Ma, I was taping it for my grandma. Listen, Grandma, listen, I'm inviting him. He's not accepting my invite. This is why we go through this. And as soon as I got to Grandma, listen, as soon as I said Grammy, and I Grammy whammy, he joins my team. He comes over. I said, oh, damn. I wanted something to send to my Grammy Whammy, right? To show that I was making an effort.
How did you guys join forces? How did it go?
So we played. So we
Don't
played.
talk about
No. So we played the game called what was it?
Warzone Rumble.
It wasn't War. We played Warzone, but it's a new one called. It wasn't Resurgent.
It was Warzone Rumble.
Yeah, Warzone Rumble. It's a new game where you have like 100 people on your team, and you find like another 100 people, and we both had about 9 kills. We did well. We ended up winning. Did we win?
We did do
we ended
well.
up winning.
Yeah.
And
we
so
did
we go to Resurgence, and we get like 11th place in that. Like Art was trash, but he was the last one standing though. He was the last one standing, and then we go to Plunder, the game that I love, game that I always win. He is the worst player to have on your team. I had him and another guy on my team. He had to be high. He had to be high.
Now you're not arguing this, Art. Like normally there are like Art, you're owning this.
So horrible. I had a guy on my team. He comes in. I mark on the map. This is where we going. I mark it. He comes on. This is his voice. I can't make this up. I mark. This is where we go. I mark it. Art sees it. I see it. He comes on. So where are we going, guys? Like
that wasn't me. That was the other guy.
That was the other guy. Did you mark it? All right. Did he sound just like that?
Sean, check this out though. He called Joik a dipshit on the live, and I'm like, does he not realize that?
No. It was
Joik.
No. They don't know. It's this guy. And so now. And now he really. So after we started playing, he really sees how good I am, and so I'm like, bro, stop. I'm telling him everything I'm telling him to do, he's not doing, and so he's just making us lose more. And Art is just I'm infuriated now because Art is just in the background laughing the entire time. And so as soon as the game is over, like Art is talking to me. I leave the party. I don't even know what.
He left.
I left. I kicked him off my team.
Hard.
I kicked him off. It was garbage.
I'm
telling you, I would play every time with Joik just to laugh. I had never laughed that hard playing a video game. Joik was so mad. He's like, Art, what are you doing? What are you doing? He was like trying to coach me.
I'm like, Art, you don't. I will listen. I would set a bomb on the door. So if somebody was to come in, it'll blow up. He's standing at the door. Somebody comes in and blows him and the guy up. He said, "Oh, it's a bomb by the door." I said, "Oh my God, get away from the door!" Like we're in the bunker trying to get the money, and he's just, you know what, man? It raised.
Tell him about the red key.
The temperature went from here to here. Like I thought we was doing good. We had just won on the Rumble, on the Warzone Rumble. We had got like 11th place on the Resurgence. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna end with Plunder. This is gonna be my last one for the night.
So 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Meatloaf once said that.
We lost.
Noted poet Meatloaf once said 2 out of 3.
We lost on Resurgence, but so we're 1 for 1. And then we're gonna Plunder. And they just blew it. They just blew. I mean, I had 400-something thousand. Art had 66,000. Other guy had 17,000. I'm like, how can I work with this? How can I work with?
What about the red? He kept saying, "Grab the red card, Art, Artemis, Fartimus, Artie, grab the red card."
Geek.
I would love to play with you guys, but I would be that guy that you just talked about. You would, you'd be so mad at me, and I don't want to take you guys off.
No, it's different, Sean. Though, if you came on the team. I would bring you on the team on say a Tuesday of next week when you have 4 people, because now I can have 3 good players and you be trash.
Yeah,
right?
I'd be trash.
And you'll be trash. And that's fine because the other 3 can carry you. We can carry you. It can't be 2 guys carrying it could be because I've won with one other person against 4 teams of 4. I won with one other person and we went crazy. We both had like almost $1 million apiece. But we can carry you. It's easier when it's 4 people. You can be trash. Because I used to be trash. I used to be garbage. And so I ended up getting with this group of people who were really pretty good. And they were patient with me because they were friends of mine. So they would be patient. So eventually I started getting better. I started to learn how to shoot, taking some people out. And so I got better. But
I went Carson Wentz. I had a bunch of 11 and 12-year-old kids that were excited that
I heard about this.
Mr. Sean was playing with them. And then I sucked so bad, all the 11 and 12-year-old kids were yelling at me, and so it destroyed my confidence. And so unlike you were able to overcome some of your early struggles. For me, when you have a bunch of 11 and 12-year-old kids telling you repeatedly you suck and they don't want to play with you anymore, that kind of makes me not want to play anymore.
Joy can still get it one-on-one, though, and lose. Like, let's be honest. You know.
We can play again. And your boy
All right,
Corner,
let's
they
play
didn't hype me up with the gun. Only thing I need to work on now with my guns is my reaction time with the. Cause like if you pull your gun at the same time, your pull-up game is is quicker.
I can help you with that.
How do you is your scope? You change your scope?
Are you hearing this?
No,
teamwork?
it's the
Are you
undergrip.
guys hearing this? This is beautiful.
Undergrip. Yeah, she likes the undergrip.
Everybody's loving this. You should see all the comments. There's nothing but hearts on there, and people are loving Art and Joik.
Nick, your boy Nick said, "Don't worry, Mr. Bell. I've carried Art a couple times on the war zone." That's your homeboy.
All right. So, hey, listen, with the average price for an ounce at Michigan recreational dispensaries coming in at $300, why don't you just grow your own? With just one light, you can pull down up to 36 ounces each harvest. Do the math, and then go see our guys at Grow Green. They have everything you need to start growing today and the knowledge to make sure that you crush it. Mention Woodward Sports, get yourself a free T-shirt as well. We're going to wrap it up. As always, in the month of February, we're going to have a special video for you chronicling something in the African-American history, community, and everything. Because, as we've talked about, listen, this is stuff that not only I think a lot of African-Americans didn't learn, I think a lot of Americans didn't learn, period. And we're all Americans, no doubt about that. All right, we'll come back, wrap it up on a Wednesday afternoon. Glad you could join us, Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
In high school, a receiver.
All right, can we let me, Joik, honestly, when I hear this stuff, it drives me out of my mind. I know that LeBron James is one of the greatest NBA players ever. Yeah. I know that he's a physical freak of nature. I know that he had a storied high school football career as well. Mm-hmm. LeBron James was not going to make the NFL. He's still talking about how 10 years ago he could have made the NFL if he would have tried out during the 2011 NBA lockout. As somebody who
I'll tell you this.
played basketball at a high level, like you did in high school, and went on to play football, what do you think when you hear a guy say that?
Yeah, that's how he feels. That's how he feels. If you're an athlete, if you're an athlete and you want to relive your glory days and go give it a shot, and your last time playing was in high school, it's a lot of skill sets you haven't learned yet, right? You haven't learned. And if I'm not mistaken, he was all-state at wide receiver in high school.
Yes.
All-state. And
tight end or wide receiver, do you remember?
I think it was wide receiver.
It may have been.
I think it was wide receiver. And you have a lot of guys who had that type of talent who were monsters in high school. I'll give you one guy who was a monster in high school who probably could have went to the NFL, Allen Iverson. He liked basketball, but he loved football more. That's one thing I found out when I watched a little bit of his documentary. Now I saw some of his highlights from high school, and he was nice. He was nice. I haven't seen any highlights of LeBron. Will he have been something like a Calvin Johnson? I don't know. A guy that can just jump up. Nobody's going to jump with him. Jump ball. Will he be like a Joseph Fourier? Just throw it up and I go get it.
I could see him leading the league in pass interference calls earned. The way he flops. Could you imagine that down the field? He acts like he gets shot every other night.
Hey, that goes on now. I can imagine.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
It goes on now. So I can imagine him. I can picture him coming into the league. I can picture him coming in and going through those antics, right? But he's also going to have the skill set to be able to go up and grab the ball at the highest point. Know how to break down on his routes.
All right, so let me ask you this though. All jokes aside, and Art, if you
I
can
think
look
he would have
up,
been successful? No, I don't think he would.
Art, can you look up what I think Jenna said? It was the Little Bit Project. It came up on my screen and then just disappeared on Facebook. because Jenna wanted to give a shout out. I think it was called the Little Bit Project. Joik, do you know what my biggest issue is with this? He had been out of high school football at that point in time for what, 9 years?
In 11? He came out in 03?
Yeah, so his last year would have been 02. 02, 03 would have been his last year in high school.
Yeah.
You're out for 9 years and you think you're going to walk into the NFL? The hell you are. No way.
Given, you know.
Right. Yes. Right.
Because I love LeBron.
Yes.
I love
Thank
Bron,
you.
man.
I'm glad to hear you say
I
that.
love
Thank
Bron, but no.
Oh, he's unbelievable. He's one of the greatest of all.
I think he could have tried out for the team. I think he would have made it off of his name. If he just would have had just an ounce of a little bit, it would have been a good splash for the media to bring him in. It would have been smart for the organization to bring him in and to say, hey, let's come on.
Yeah.
Let's come on. You know?
So the Little Bit Project is based on positivity. It's a little bit of positive energy through initiating acts of kindness and supporting better people and transforming their lives for the better. So it's like a random act of kindness thing. You can get more information at thelittlebitproject.com.
Thank you. No, appreciate that. We all need a little bit.
I mean, and we're doing a little bit right now. Joik's playing games with me. That's a little bit of random act of kindness, buddy. Pal.
Yeah, you see that? You hear that, Grandma?
Grammy Whammy's still in the house, by the way.
You
Grammy Whammy's still in the house. I want to be careful. Choose your words carefully.
Hey, Mom. My mom chiming in.
LeBron was a wide receiver. Thank you.
Yeah, wide receiver.
Wasn't he talking about being a tight end in the NFL? Because he'd gotten so big.
Nah, he would have been better at receiver. He don't want to get down in the trenches.
Hell no.
You stay out there. You stay out there. Because the thing is, you don't want to jeopardize the career that's really bringing you in money. Because the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. You don't want to put that wear and tear on your body and shorten your NBA career. Stick over there. Get those max contracts. Get those guaranteed contracts. You stay over there. It's safer over there. It's safe over there.
Yeah, you know what? We'll never know. Here's the crystal ball again. Well, would LeBron have been, it's like the magic 8 ball. Would LeBron have been a good NFL player?
I don't think so. Let's talk about.
Don't think so.
All right, let's end with this. All
right.
Stafford under the most pressure in 2021. Career numbers are impressive. Has a lot to prove in LA. They were the better team, better coaches.
1,000%.
I don't think he's under pressure. I think he can go.
Oh, I don't think he feels it.
No, I think he can go. I think he can go there and be himself and be successful. Just go there and be yourself. Go there, be yourself.
He has to answer questions. You know that.
Yeah,
he does.
45,000 passing yards. Quickest is what the quickest quarterback to 40,000 yards.
I think that's what it was. Yeah,
the quickest one. 282 touches with an average QBR of a little bit under 90, 89.9.
I think he got better as his career went on too. I really do.
Obviously, he did. He actually got better when Calvin left.
Absolutely did. Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Can't.
So do I think he's feeling? Do I think he has pressure on him?
Well, you know what? I don't think he does personally. I think perception does, and what I mean by that is if he doesn't win, let's say he has a couple of seasons like he did under Coach Caldwell, where the Rams make the playoffs and they get bounced out. You know, people are going to say about Matthew Stafford, he's not a winning quarterback. That's what people are going to say. Right or wrong, that's what people are going to say.
Right or wrong.
So that pressure's there. But do I think Matthew Stafford feels it? No, because I know him a little bit. You know him a lot of bit. Yeah. I think Matthew Stafford is a guy that's supremely confident in himself.
You know, this is how much pressure he feels right now. I saw a story. On Kelly Space's wife. And he was sitting there holding his daughter. You know what they were watching? They're watching The Little Giants, one of my favorites.
Oh, Little Giants.
The Little Giants, one of my favorites.
Did you ever watch Backyardigans?
No, that's your time. That's your era.
My daughter's time.
That's your time.
Blue's Clues?
I never watched that.
No.
The Sandlot, that was my time. Everybody watched The Sandlot. I was a Sandlot guy.
Overrated, but go ahead.
The Sandlot? What? All right, let's go to Black History.
We'll have that conversation. We'll have that conversation another day.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. I'm done. Oh, my.
Overrated.
Oh, my God. I can't believe you just said that.
What's wrong with you?
It's all right.
What?
It's all right.
Flag on the play.
Where's my flag?
We'll see
we
you
need to
guys
get out of
tomorrow. In the meantime, take care. We have a pretty cool video for you talking about.
Yep. So we'll be talking about the Underground Railroad, and what a lot of people don't know is that the original road, or the original railroad, wasn't from the south or from the north to the. I'm sorry, from the south to the north. It was actually from the south to the south. It was from the Carolinas and Georgia. They would escape down to the Spanish Floridas. And what they would do was they knew when they got there, they would have a Salem and also their freedom. It wasn't until the 1790 where the U.S. put the pressure on Florida, on the Spanish Florida government to stop doing that, and they were forced to now go up north. So take a look at the video. Hope you guys enjoy it, like it.
You're killing me, Smales.
When most of us think of the Underground Railroad, we think of people in the South risking everything to flee their masters for freedom in the North. But the first Underground Railroad actually ran in the opposite direction, from north to south. By the late 1600s, after a century of Spain and England's rivalry for control of the southern colonies, Spanish Florida had become a sanctuary for slaves who fled south from English rule.
Our vision of the Underground Railroad is black folk crossing the Ohio River from Kentucky into Ohio. The reality is black folk went wherever they could find freedom and whichever destination was closest.
People would escape from, say, South Carolina and try to get out through Native American territory into some wild frontier territory or into Spanish territory.
Established in 1565, Spanish Florida was strategically important given its proximity to the Caribbean. It also offered Spain a chance to expand its imperial power by converting people in the New World to Roman Catholicism. So in 1687, when an intrepid group of slaves escaped from Charleston to St. Augustine, then sought asylum from the Spanish governor, they were granted their freedom on the condition that they convert.
St. Augustine was one of these beacon lights, African Americans saying, look, if we can get there and under Spanish authority, Spanish control, then we can have our freedom.
By 1738, so many fugitive slaves had arrived from the Carolinas and Georgia that the Spanish established an all-black fortified settlement known as Fort Mose. In 1790, facing pressure from the United States government and its Secretary of State, Thomas Jefferson, the Spanish ended their policy of granting sanctuary in Florida. However, the dreams of freedom lived on. The Underground Railroad turned north. It's estimated that 30,000 people escaped through its freedom network.